would like to first off thank everybody that joined the Discord and everybody that's inside the YouTube channel right now. Thank you guys for attending the next or latest episode of Flock Talk. I think we're on Flock Talk 13. 13 weeks of greatness. All right. My lovely wife, It's Just Alex, is here with me. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys for even taking time out your day to have the conversation. The Flock Talk's purpose is for us to come together. You guys share your thoughts. We share our thoughts. We come together as a community. And, you know, you just talk your talk with the flock. You feel me? Alex, you got anything you want to say, my dear?
No. Appreciate y'all being here. I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. And, you know, let's just chill.
All right. What's up, peoples, is really my favorite catchphrase. A lot of people love it.
I don't know why y'all love it so much.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get to it. So, this Flock Talk, to start it off, we have Pop the Balloon, episode 41. As you guys know, we are officially on the 5th season. You feel me? So, 5th season of Pop the Balloon, episode 41. This last episode, I personally feel like the men that came out on this episode, excluding one person, was probably the most mature lineup of men that we've had in a long time, to the point where I felt like they were asking questions that needed to be asked in the dating sphere. It's not that I feel like the women weren't capable of answering it. I feel like the women weren't used to these type of questioning in the dating sphere. They probably weren't having these level of conversation. So they gave a lot of responses that I think were not up to standard with the men we're talking about, but that's just my opinion. Alex, how did you feel about episode 41?
I liked episode 41. It was a more mature lineup. It was smooth. Like, I think we got 3 matches?
3
this episode. Yeah, 3 matches. Yeah, I actually liked it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it was a good episode. Aside from like the deep dive people ended up finding on some of the contestants, but you know that always happens.
So that's gonna be the first thing we talk about. So y'all know how this goes. If you guys have something to say, we will press that grand old request button. When you raise your hand, we will drag you up. You guys have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You got 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I have the timers.
Yup. If West ain't here, we can do it ourselves. But 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Tell us, how did you feel about this episode of Pop the Balloon or Find Love? Y'all can start raising your hand now. We will start dragging people up. First things first, Discord about to piss me off, because if I'm gonna have to keep pressing this every time I'm open this window, I'm gonna crash out. Boom, 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 boom. Miles was first. Miles, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's always good to hear.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, well let's get it going. Let me be the one that started off. I would like to say that I thought Pop the Balloon, that season 1 was 100% disgusting. Actually, I thought it was a bunch of nonsense the whole way. I didn't see no maturity at all. I think we got a misconception. People think just because there's no yelling back and forth that they're not ignorant. People think that there's no drama and there's no chaos because everybody was calm. It wasn't no yelling. I'm like, nah, I done been in rooms where people are successful, quiet, and still ignorant. I thought every last one of them was ignorant. I thought every last one of them showed their colors, the men and the women. And the biggest thing I take away from this episode was the ability not to use their ears that God gave them. I think they didn't use their ears. Listening was a skill that none of them mastered. A lot of fugazi, a lot of people giving passes that, you know, they really had like standards, but they started changing up because they wanted to win just to have the it's a match moment. But I'm like, okay, when the show airs and when everything is done and you guys go home, I think the truth gonna come out, you know. And if we have time to talk about the individuals, then we'll do that later. But overall, I thought they were all pretty much 95% of them was whack. They all was whack, and then they act real professional too. And if you thank God that we have people on the internet who look up their Instagrams and see who they are behind the scenes, because they was all fronting. They was all fronting like they was really dignant, and they really wasn't all that dignant. But it sounded good. But once you started diving into their Instagrams and seeing they got OnlyFans and the ignorance, you're like, okay, yeah, this is the same old Pop the Balloon. It's just you guys did it with a smile and, you know, being nice. But I could read through the nonsense, and I hope everybody else did too.
Okay. Coming in hot. Shout out to Miles. All right. We're going to have Chris next. Chris, are you there, brother?
Hello?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well. Doing my thing, you know. How are you guys doing?
Hey, blessed and highly favored.
Yes.
So,
Yes, absolutely. Well, I have to disagree with you guys on this. I'm telling you, the man asked the same old questions about kids. Listen, when I'm dating somebody, I could care less if we want to have kids or not, because it's about compatibility for me. See what I'm saying? In the beginning, listen, I'm just meeting you for the actual first time. Why do I care about how many kids you have? Because you're not going to meet my kids when you first meet me. So that is absolutely played out. So that needs to go. Those questions need to go. Second question is the God questions. That needs to go. Because it's like this. If they actually believe in God, they're going to show it through their fruits. See, the Bible talks about the fruits, right? Mm-hmm. So they're, you know, the Bible talks about patience. They're going to show it through actual patience through you. So it's not just about praying and reading the actual Bible. It's about how they actually treat you. So if they actually believe in God, it's actually going to show out in how they actually treat you. That's what I actually stand on. I listen. I stand on action. I don't stand on what somebody says. I stand on action and how they actually treat me.
Okay. Shout out to Chris. A lot of people,
yes, sir.
So far, 2 for 2 don't agree. They think that this episode was not good. Let's hear it. Steppa, you got the floor, brother. How did you feel about the episode?
Yeah. So what's the word, man? What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good, chilling. This episode, it was alright. It was way better than the last one. I don't know. I mean, I guess except for the same questions they was like still asking. I mean, I do have to agree with Chris on what he said. So other than that, it was okay. Ain't really nothing much to say, to be honest with you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Discord about to make me tight, man. There you go.
What's happening?
Every time I change it from like the request to the conversation thing, it like shows me the rest of the Discord for like no apparent reason. And I think it's really dumb because I don't need to see this. Like, why? But I guess like I'm gonna get over it. It's not that deep for me. It's gonna be annoying.
You want me to bring up and then I can bring people up.
Yeah, and then either way. It's not like it's not like it's showing anything important. It's more like aesthetically it's irritating for me. But I can get over it. Okay. But hey, so far everybody has interesting feelings towards the episode. But as we get deeper into the episode, we can talk about it. Poetical, you up next, brother?
All right, hello to everybody. As far as this episode goes, it was okay. I do want to say that. Well, I feel like I'm just going to bring up this topic of a lot of these women seem on this particular episode seem like they just wouldn't listen, like they were spacing out. I don't know if the questions was too difficult for them or something was going on, but it was like there was a lack of paying attention or something going on during this episode. And then on top of that, my thing is we've kind of seen this throughout Pop the Balloon, where a lot of women are claiming to be spiritual, but at the end of the day, like, what does that really entail? To me, I feel like the equivalent of that is they're just being like an undisciplined version of a Christian. Like, they just don't really want to truly claim being a Christian, because there's a lot that goes behind being a Christian. So it's kind of like, let me just say I'm spiritual, and then you get to asking questions, and it's like there's really not much substance behind spirituality part. It's almost like they're just in between, trying to figure out which direction they want to go as far as their faith and all of this other stuff. And so it's just like, I'm just gonna say I'm spiritual just to keep the conversation moving. And I mean, I feel like I understand in the Black community, as you're growing up, it's like if you kind of get pushed towards being a Christian, if you say something outside of that, there's kind of a feeling of ridicule or being outsiders. So sometimes you try to go find other avenues of religion and all that other stuff, but it's like there has to be something more, because when I'm hearing this spirituality part, like, there's usually not much behind it when you really start to delve deep and ask these women deeper questions about that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. But overall, this episode, it was okay. It was okay.
Okay. I feel like as we get deeper in this, because knowing you so far on these Flock Talk Sportical, that was a very tame synopsis, but I know it's you respecting time. So as we get later on here, I want to hear your actual genuine thoughts about it, because I know you have more to say than that. But I appreciate you.
Yes,
brother.
sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I didn't mean to cut him off. See, dang it. But Alex, yeah, you managed
it's okay.
you managed the bringing people in thing, because I don't want to have to keep closing that window. Smiley. Smiley.
Hi. What's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
We doing
I'm
great,
doing
man.
good. How about yourself? Great,
blessed.
man. Good to you. Well, bless. This episode. Now, I'm starting to look at things from a business standpoint, and I know what y'all like. The Fashion Nova thing, like, they growing within that standpoint, but like, it's still like they still bringing people on here. They not like, they need to do background checks, like something, because it's like, if you go on these people pages, you like when somebody mentioned like they have an OF like links and link trees and stuff like that. Like, it's just like, okay, like I typically feel like they just they not really trying to, even though they had 3 matches, it was still kind of like bad, like, I don't know. But on the business side, they doing wonderful. On the business side, like, it's becoming like Love and Hip Hop or something like that, like Atlanta Housewives, like, or like Bad Girls Club or something like that. Like, it ain't giving that hierarchy of reality TV, like The Bachelor or nothing like that. But it's giving like Flavor of Love.
Okay. Okay. There's a bit to that take of the vetting thing, the background check thing. Me and Alex actually had a conversation about it while we were driving to do our little errands and stuff like that. It comes down to BM already talked about it, and I guess the only difference is like being the experience there, people who actually are there to like experience the whole process of it. I was telling Alex, I feel like it's going to be more difficult now that they're as popular as they are. And even if they hire a team of people to like deep dive into people's profiles and like really just be like, oh, this person has to be this to get on the show. The internet, as we know, it's not hard to fake it just to get across on the internet, especially when like you're only going off of people's IGs. As you guys know, Taxman Dan or whatever, Danny, he had like 3 different IG profiles. You get what I'm saying? And they all were showing different things. And I say, like, when you think about how popular Pop the Balloon is now, they're probably getting about 3,000 to 4,000 people applying to be on a show every single day. You get what I'm saying? Trying to quote unquote get on there for whatever ulterior motive, but it's hard when they talk to people on the phone apparently, and anybody can portray themselves anyway on the phone. You get me? I can answer any question. Prime example, look at Pointer. He does a real one. His Pop the Balloon stuff.
The Realest Talk Show. And
right.
His channel's called The Realest Talk Show.
Arlette and them didn't even know about Pointer until he was already there. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what could have been or what could have been portrayed for him to get on there before they even found out he was another content creator. You get what I'm saying? So when they do the phone interview or when they have the follow-up, it's like BM says, one on the phone and in the interview, they're this person. But when it's time for the camera to roll, or when people start to show up for the next scene, they're this person. You get what I'm saying? So they saw exactly who the Mozzies were before they got there. That's debatable because from what the internet is doing deep dives, they exposing the Mozzies like every other day. I see a new Mozzie exposed video. I thought it was just the big Mozzie getting exposed, but then now the little one getting exposed. And I'm like, dang, who is exposing? The internet's scary, bro. I'm just saying, like, y'all some super detectives, boy.
I just want to add this. Even if, hypothetically, even if Arlette and BM go through the vetting process of, like, the shows that were named, The Bachelor, all that kind of stuff, they can go through the process of doing a background check, making sure people have psych evaluations and all that, this, that, and the third. And there's things that there will be things that will still come up that they can't prevent from happening that ends up happening. There's been plenty of times where you see people go on shows, reality dating shows, love shows like Love is Blind, and they got stuff hiding in the works of their own personal lives that end up coming out on the show. So at some point, it's a darn if you do, darn if you don't type of thing. Like, even if they were to go to those extremes and something came out about a contestant on the show, they will still get the flack of, you should have chose better, you should have vetted better, so it's your fault.
My question is, when are we gonna stop blaming the host and start blaming the people that are coming on the show? You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, when are we talking about the fact that these people come on this and they make the product what the product is? Like we said, the end doesn't justify the means. Just because you got a result doesn't mean that result was the objective. You get what I'm saying? And my thing is, a lot of these people come on this show and we gotta talk, like, let's really say it. People are clout demons. People are clout hungry. People want fame. People don't want to work no more. People just want to be on show. People want to be on whatever. We just did a reaction to the other Pop the Balloon with Tiara James, the wrestler. We just did her Pop the Balloon. One of the contestants, I don't know if you guys, some of y'all don't watch it because y'all don't watch every video on the channel, but then be in the comments talking about you guys only do Arlette's Pop the Balloon, which is not true. Look at our channel. We do a lot. But Tiara James Pop the Balloon. Dude literally walked out there and said, yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know what type of show I was about to walk out to, but I just saw online and I saw the application and I was just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just take a shot at it. Didn't even know the show. You feel me? Just like the other one with Flirt Popped the Balloon on one of their episodes. Dude came out. I didn't really know what I was gonna be on, but I just saw that there was an opportunity, so I just took it. You didn't know you was about to be on a dating show? You feel me? You didn't know you was gonna be on a dating show when they're asking you questions like, are you single? How many kids do you have? Are you open to long distance dating? You feel me? Like when are we gonna hold the actual people in general in question? But I want to make sure Hurdle God gets to talk his point, so I'm going to unmute.
Mm-hmm.
Hurdle God, how did you feel about this episode of Pop the Balloon, episode 41?
Yo.
How you doing?
Before I start, I just want to say I never realized how many people say like before watching the episode you guys reacted to. The filler word.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. But anyway, this episode made me realize there's a whole bunch of Christians. I feel like that chews off lust. And then they disguise it as word. They disguise it as words like initial attraction, chemistry, vibe, or what have you. But if this person looks are fine, like as you say, their looks are fine and their voice is all right, and you like the way they articulate themselves, then what's wrong with them? And what is chemistry? Are you really just trying to say they don't have sex appeal to you? But you're Christian, so that shouldn't be an indicator of whether they're a good mate for you, whether they have sexual appeal in your eyes, because that is something that grows. That's something that's very intimate. And I feel like if you are the type of person to feel a sexual appetite for someone off bat, I feel like that you need to work on you. That's how I feel.
Okay.
No, that's a valid take. All right, shout out Hurdle. Almost
under 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, you have the audacity.
Yeah, I've been
to be
running
here
the timer
after what you did,
bro. I said what I said. You ain't see the tap, but I said what I said. If you look at what I said in reply, you're gonna laugh, but you can't reveal that information out to the world.
It was technical difficulties, y'all. It's not that he didn't want to be here.
I understand.
Yeah,
My fault, Tay.
bro.
All right, my fault.
Yeah,
my fault again. All right, Mo
It's all good. I'm
KSA.
here now, bro.
Mo KSA, how did you feel about episode 41?
How you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, guys, for the amazing content. I can't watch Pop the Balloon without watching you guys. I can't anymore. I used to watch it before finding your guys' channel, but after I found you guys, I can't wait till you guys upload the video and watch your guys' reaction.
Hey,
I'm sorry for my English. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I used to live in LA and in Chicago as well.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I said anything funny or I don't know.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I think the lineup, the man lineup, is more mature, as you Kai said, and I wish if BM could bring. I'm not gonna say the worst, but let's say the Mozzies. I wish they have the bad men lineup and the bad women lineup in one episode. That would be the most watched video that people will watch on their channel. So this is what I want to say. I want to thank you guys again for the amazing content and keep it going. And we're gonna show love every time you guys post a video or have a vlog talk or whatever you guys have. And good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, shout out to
Shit,
Saudi
easy,
Arabia, man. Shout out, man. That's crazy. Every time I even think about the fact that like there's somebody watching us from that far, like it'd be blowing my mind. Like it'd be the people that be like, oh, I'm watching from like the Netherlands or I'm watching from there. I'm like, dang.
Oh yeah.
I'm just a random black dude from California. You feel me? Like hey, shout out big Saudi Arabia in the house, man. We appreciate you. Shout out to it, man. It really be crazy how far like the content really be reaching, man. It's really mind blowing. So I think that if they did do that and they got the craziest men lineup and put them up with the craziest women lineup, like you said, it would go viral. But at that point, the blowback that they would get for that is crazy because it's gonna be, bro. There's already like a whole bunch of YouTube channels. The second Arlette and BM do anything that the public don't like rock with heavy, they be like, this is why Pop the Balloon has been exposed, the secret Illuminati. Like it's just like all that. Like it's really scary, bro. And it's I can say it as a YouTuber. It's really scary as a YouTuber seeing other YouTubers do it, because you really don't know the influence that like that we really be having. Even us, like there's stuff like we had to watch out what we were saying, because like genuinely like the feedback we be getting sometimes is like, oh, okay, like my fault, it was a joke, but okay, I get it, I guess. Like, so it's really interesting. But so from the gist of what we heard so far from the people that chose to speak, y'all wasn't rocking with this episode.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll ask this then. Let's talk about the women right now. Okay, let's break down the women real quick. As you guys know, one of the contestants got exposed, and they went through her social media. We went through it on our episode as we reacted to. We just didn't show you guys this, but they went through, found out she was talking a lot of God talk, talking a lot of like, you need to be this, you need to be this, you need to be this, I fear God, my man need to know God, blah blah blah. She did a lot of God talk. Then they went on this young lady's page and saw that she had an OnlyFans, and she was wilding on the OnlyFans, like wilding. And I guess they went deeper into her stuff, and she had even done some content pretty recently. Okay, so I'm not throwing no name out there. I'm not going to zoom in on a person. If you guys really want to deep dive in it,
is the D word a bad word? Like, do you have to censor the D word?
What, damn?
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it's just y'all saying who y'all so messy. But the point is, for all you freaky frogs, because why do y'all need to see why do y'all need to see it? That's the question. Why do y'all need to see it? The point is, it happened.
No, this ain't my platform, but
I brought it up because
I'm gonna do the research.
I brought it up because it's about to lead into the point I'm about to make, right? It's not about who's doing it, it's the fact that it just happened, right? So my question is, now that we start, like the internet starts to expose these people and look deeper and deeper and deeper, how are you guys feeling about these contestants that come on and they're presenting one way, but then when you look into it, they're going another way? You get what I'm saying? What is y'all genuine feeling about it? Because in my opinion, these people are the major problems in the dating sphere in general. I feel like this is just a reflection of dating in general that people don't want to talk about. A lot of people are single or in these relationship struggles because even without Pop the Balloon being as clouded, one thing I learned about social media just amplifies bad habits that we have in general, right? So if women are willing to come on platforms with millions of people watching and try to fake the funk and say that they have standards and they're all this, but then they're sitting here getting exposed and you're doing adult content like this, but you're also saying, I want a man who's Christian minded and marriage minded, but then I'm over here going crazy on my OnlyFans. Imagine what it's like in the action. Oh, my fault.
We got new evidence coming in from Shady Angel. New evidence.
See, that's
why woman in pigtails.
No. See, you see
who's wearing pigtails?
What is
the chick. Oh. Like, who's wearing pigtails?
See, you got so excited about this men.
I'm just saying, bro. New evidence. I'm a college educated man.
But you see how you interrupted me, my point, because you excited for somebody getting exposed. You sick frog.
College educated man. I'm a man of research. I'm a man of science.
But why was that more important than the point I was trying to?
I'm getting some information.
But why?
I'm getting some information that some science is being done.
But why would you derail the point I'm trying to make to announce that? You freaky frog.
You know, it's a couple. If you pay attention to your chat, it's a couple individuals in here who was like, you know, that Kevin, who was it, Kevin Garnett meme? He was like, why would you show me some if I can't have it?
You know what's crazy?
This was a lot of those comments right there.
You
You
know
know, I'm trying to get the
what's
people what they want, man.
I don't care
Y'all
what
be
the people
getting
want.
mad
They
'cause we don't
freaky
be
frogs. That's the freakiest
Y'all be mad because we don't be looking on the Instagrams, but y'all be looking on the Instagrams before we do, so y'all should already know.
Exactly. They just want us to say
Y'all
it.
be
Freaky.
fact checking for us.
And my thing is, hey, there's a reason why I didn't acknowledge it, because guess who was the only ones asking about it? The dudes in the chat. The men, bro. I'm not appeasing to that. If anything, I'm shaking my head the more times I see a dude in this chat going, who's the chick that got exposed? If anything, that tells me a lot about you, because why do you need it that bad? You ain't even on the show. You feel me? Like, what do you need this information for that bad? You freaky frog. But
hey man, they lucky I can't do soundboards in a Flock Talk.
Hey man.
In relation to these women who appear on Pop the Balloon, in relation to like the OnlyFans and like what they do outside of the episode and like who they are outside of this, realistically, do you think that a lot of these connections would be more genuine if people were like 100% honest and upfront about who they were outside of this Pop the Balloon thing? Like if you knew about their social media presence, what they did for real, including OnlyFans, do you think people would be more willing to engage and like actually try to be with these people if they were like 100% honest from the jump when they were getting to know them in this show?
So you know what's crazy?
That's the question I'm pondering to y'all.
You know what's crazy? That's literally what I was about to ask, but I guess like the middle of me talking was just, you know.
Great minds think alike.
It was interrupting the beginning of you talking, my guy. I guess that's how that worked. My fault. Too.
Great minds think alike, brother.
So type that question out and post it, please.
Okay. Well, for the people who are, in my
never
question.
mind. Thank you, Monet.
Yeah.
This bit.
All right.
Go ahead, start dragging people up then, man.
All right. You know what? I got you. I'll handle it. Who we got first? You know what? Miles is always good. Chris, shout out to Shady Angel for, providing the research. You know what, Miles? Go ahead and start us off, brother.
Oh, you already know I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna start off immediately because I'm the one in the comments saying, who are you talking about? I need to know who we talking about, because not because I want to see it or nothing like that. I don't even get down like that. But I just I'm not gonna sit here and be throwing innuendos. I need to know who we talking about, because it's just like, why we bringing up something and we don't even know who it is? I didn't even know about this OnlyFans thing. I'm like, yo, what are we talking about?
The reason why we didn't need to specify who it is because this is already a common occurrence that happens between multiple episodes. So it's more of like, it's happened enough that we can generalize it without focusing on a single person.
Okay, so the question originally was about basically seeing these people for who they are versus, how they act on the show. Me personally, I was thinking, just my little humble opinion, I was thinking that the show needs to evolve. I think it's getting to a point now where, the people in the back overall are not getting a fair chance to find, genuine love, because, they're going in there basically in a lion's den and not even having anything to like protect them from what it is versus what it ain't. And I think, it would be nice for them to see who they're dealing with. It would be nice for them to see, because you literally see on this show constantly women, men act different when certain people come around, then they change up when something nice come around, and then they go out and they see the show live like a couple days later and like, oh my God, that's how rude you was? Oh, I don't even want to deal with you now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you missed the opportunity to get a good person because you didn't get a chance to see just how they was acting, and then the whole OnlyFans thing and all that stuff. I mean, me personally, I'm not going to trip on OnlyFans, stuff like that, because you didn't know them before you met them, and people can change, people can grow. So I won't chastise anybody for, their decisions, as much as I don't like it. It is a show, so you got to take it, with a grain of salt, and you don't have to be with them as the lifelong partner, just, but if it happens, then you can make the choice to not be with them. But I like the idea of people being themselves from the gate, and then instead of all this fronting. from the beginning, because it just puts a bad taste in my mouth and it makes the show look tacky. So that, and if the whole thing is Arlette's show is supposed to be legitimate love, well then they need to make it legitimate and start, calling people out, and that's just my whole opinion on it.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Moss.
All right, I'm going. Good job, brother. I'm going strong.
All right, Poetical.
Okay, so there was a comment that I left on YouTube. I believe KiteZz, you liked my comment that I put the other day. I put this is further proof that when a woman likes you, roadblocks turn into on ramps. Let's not talk like, if a person likes you, they're going to be willing to make concessions and stuff for you. If you're a part of their attraction level, if you're talking the way that they like to hear stuff said, if you fit a certain criteria, like if they like you, they're gonna make certain concession. They might even be willing to break some of their deal breakers just to give you an opportunity, to give you a shot. So I feel like that just kind of goes across the board with this. So it's kind of like, and really quick, can you just repeat the question so I can make sure I answer that directly?
Do you think that
the question was? Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that people would find love intentionally when they are honest the first time? That's the summary.
Yes. Yeah, if people would just, if people would just come on and try to be their authentic self. I get it. It's kind of like when you go apply for a job, you got to put your best representative first so that you can get your foot in the door. We all know eventually the truth comes to light and things come to the surface. But I think more people would be able to right then and there make a choice on that person if they were presenting their basically 100% authentic self. This is how I am. This is what I do. I definitely believe that some of the men would be willing to rock with some of the women, because if they, to a degree, if they like what they see, and they're willing to agree on certain aspects, I think a lot of the men would be like, okay, I'll still rock with her if she got XYZ going on, because that's you're willing to compromise for things that you like. And that's just, I feel like that's just the general kind of thing for men and women. People just need to stop capping and just bring your authentic self there, so that person can make a choice on who they authentically see.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. All right. Okay. Who is now? I think it's Chris and then Shady, I think.
Yeah, either one is fine. They're both up here. You can just do
All right, come on, Chris. Bring us home. Well, not home, but bring us to the next point, brother.
All right. Let me explain something to you, man. The reason why they can't do that, because there's red pill content creators out there making content on these women, saying these women are easy, they're for the streets, and all that stuff. So you also got to think about that too, because there's a lot of them that have went into their Instagram and said they're 304s and all that. And these women can't be doing that out there because they don't want all that on them. And think about this. These women are going to get DM'd like crazy if they show the sexual part of them. Even probably worse. So you really got to think about that, fellas, that, yeah, I get what everybody is saying, but these are also women, and they don't want to be getting hit up like that all the time too. Because there are a lot of men out there that will take them just as that. So you also got to be aware of that too. But far as the men, the problem is the men don't know really what they want, and they're really not leading, and that's really where it really comes from. And like I said, all those women up there, they're used to dealing with simps. seriously, they're used to dealing with simps and weak men. I could actually tell just by reading their behaviors. So that's another thing too. So if you have that dynamic going on, the show's not going to go anywhere because the men aren't coming there on real, and the women are dealing with the weak men. That's it.
So, Chris, how do you feel about? Do you think that these contestants should be allowed to come on there if they have things like OnlyFans and like link trees to like exotic websites and stuff like that? Do you feel like they should be allowed to even come on the show? Because one of the contestants, they found out even before the show aired, like a week or so ago, she had just did a erotic scene before she even came on there. And now she's there trying to find a partner or a man to marry or date, but you just got done doing explicit content with somebody. So how do you feel about that?
Well, my thing is, not everybody goes on OnlyFans for that. There are some that go on OnlyFans to do, educational purposes. Now that is okay. That's the exception. If you're doing something like that, I would have to say no, because you're putting yourself at risk for thinking, guys are going to think that you're easy, that you're for everybody. So I would say for your question, no, because you're putting yourself at a higher risk with men that think you're just easy, or you might get into a situation where guys want to pay you because that's what they think. So I would say no.
Okay. All right, Chris. Shout out to you.
All right.
Shady.
Yeah. I would like to. Shady can speak, but I would just say I'm gonna be 100% honest. Even if they got an OnlyFans or a stripper or a dancer or whatever the case may be, I feel like realistically, like, even though this does not apply to me, let me give y'all that notion right now. This don't apply to me. Everybody do deserve love, though. I like, if you got an OnlyFans, if that's what you're doing, that's cool for you and whoever your partner is. Now, like if y'all start doing content together, maybe that can be the compromise or whatever the case may be. But like realistically, I feel like everybody does in fact deserve love. But I also think the notion of getting put through a mattress like 2 days before and then coming on a dating show to try and find love is crazy. And what she need to be shamed.
Shaming people is crazy.
No, I agree. People need to. We do need to bring back shame, but because
it never left.
No, shame for sure left. There's no shame now because the fact that we live in an era where a chick can get cracked or a dude can just get done having sex and then go on a dinner date and talk about building a future with somebody literally 2 hours later, and there's no remorse, there's no guilt, there's no anything. It's just like, oh, it's just another day. That speaks a lot. Like, for instance, like I always make the joke, if we go back in time to the BCs, ADs, even up to like the early 3rd, 4th, 5th century, a lot of us would have been murdered by now for the stuff that we do nowadays, like sexually wise, because it was just inappropriate. And it's just a matter of, I genuinely, this is just how I genuinely feel. If you don't see the problem with having sexual relations with a person and then the next day pursuing romance with another person, and in that little week time span, that day time span, I don't think you're qualified to even speak with the concept of marriage or speak with having somebody locked down for a permanent thing, because it's like you're talking about making an oath or swearing an oath or an agreement that you are going to be exclusively for this person, but then in that 24-hour time span, you were just giving yourself to someone else the day before or the hour before. But now you're speaking about swearing an oath. Right. And so, and of course, to all the people, this is a Christian channel. Like we've said before, when you guys have intercourse with somebody, you are doing more than just having fun. You are spiritually connecting to somebody. So imagine spiritually connecting to somebody and then swearing an oath with somebody else the exact same day. That is definitely not how God intended anything. So I think shaming needs to come back. The problem is we're so comfortable in this day and age with people thinking that sex is just for fun, that if you even say, I don't think you should be a P star and then talk about getting married tomorrow, people would attack you more for saying that and be like, well, everybody should do this and how dare you judge this and all that. But the thing is, realistically, what does the Bible say that is? Adultery. And what does adultery lead you to? Hell. So by us sitting there praising and putting on this protective Superman cape that, oh, go ahead and go have sex with 5 different women. Go ahead and go have sex with 6 different men. It's okay. You'll get a ring tomorrow. By us doing that, we are condemning more and more people to attach themselves to adultery and condemning them to hell by championing it. That at the end of the day, we're gonna take judgment on that too. So the people that cheer that and perform that and support that, you're speaking judgment on yourself too. So I feel like shame should be brought back, but that's just me, I guess. But I'm gonna unmute Mo.
Sorry, little tangent. Go ahead, Shady.
Yeah, go ahead, Shady.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with your statement. But to answer the question, it's not a fair, assessment on whoever's part to judge your character, and you're coming on here putting up a front, especially on this channel, because BM and Arlette are Christian content creators, right? Their platform is Christian. And you're coming up here and you're presenting a front like, yes, I'm with this. Well, they'll say they're spiritual or they believe in a higher power, but then you have like this facade of, all this, deviant stuff in the background. And it's not giving a fair shot to the people that do come up here and are, following Christ and they want to find love. And they're not giving that fair assessment. Now, granted, they could, get you on a date, and then have deeper conversations. But if you're like willing to be on a public platform and, put up this lie, then get exposed later, it just sends a message of how, messed up your character is. And like, I don't even want to get into, the deeper parts of OF and whatnot, but this is how men who are not, strong in their faith let lust, dictate who they pick. And while we got so many men crying about, oh, the women are just bad, but it's up to you to judge their character, man. Ask those deeper questions. Like we had one match, the guy that matched with the green, the lady in the green, and her answers did not match up at all to what he was trying to do, but he still chose her because he liked what he was seeing. And that was just one example. But I agree with you, Kites, and it's bad out here, man. It's bad.
All right, shout out to Shady. Monet, speak.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
What up, though?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Had to make sure my college Wi-Fi wasn't cooking me. To answer the question, if I think, if people were intentionally trying to find love and we're honest about it up front, if I'm being completely honest with you, it wouldn't matter. Because when I think about this question and I think about the people in this episode, I think to the first season about Rizoma and how Rizoma showed her true character around all the other men that came out. But as soon as Bo came out, oh, she was all sweet like honey. She was presenting herself in a nice way, very soft, very feminine, very X, Y, and Z, even though she was, dogging these men when they came out. And I just think that when it comes to somebody you like, or when it comes to somebody you love, or you want to get to know or want to pursue, you're always gonna paint yourself to be this hero, this awesome person, this whatever you think this other person wants to see, you're always going to paint yourself that way. Now, granted, there are some people, and I'm not talking about them, because when we talk about these situations, we talk about the majority and not the small minority people. We're talking about the majority. A majority of people are always going to paint themselves in the way that other people how they think other people want them to be seen, or think or paint themselves in a way that they think other people want to see. And to be quite honest with you, it's kind of shady. And a lot of people aren't really going to find love or find the love they desire because of that. But that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Shout out to Monday. All right.
All right, I think it's Bird Lady.
Got you.
Then Galen, and then Hurdle.
Got you. Bird Lady, talk your talk.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Bird Lady. Bird Lady, is that a chicken in your profile?
It is.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He likes birds.
Oh, I have over 200 birds, so yeah.
Over 200.
So can we talk about?
Can we get some chickens?
Can I have a chicken?
Of course. I just hatched out like 26 of them, so they're little bitty babies.
Okay,
you have to come to Georgia to get them, though.
Dang.
Oh, Georgia.
Dang, bro. I'm gonna put a chicken in some Nikes. But go ahead.
But I think that if they were honest, then there would still be someone they will match with. Now, really not they would find love, because think about the guy who, whenever they asked his occupation, he had on like a wife beater, and he was like, "I'm a famous adult star." And no one popped on him because of his occupation. They popped on him because of the way that he was dressed. They popped on him because he was flashy. But there was a whole like behavioral therapist or something like that, or psychiatrist, and she didn't even pop on him. So, and the same thing with the girl with the face tattoo. She was like, "I'm an exotic dancer." No one popped on her because of that. She popped on herself because she was insecure about it. And like the guy even asked her, like, "Why would you think that I would pop on you because you were a dancer?" So it was even Nucci, going back to watching her episode when she had on the white, and she came out and she said, "I'm a stripper." Some people popped, but the main thing that took Nucci out was when she was like, "Okay, what's your zodiac sign?" They didn't. A lot of people knew what she did, but they still held their balloon. Whether or not it was because of lust or not, I believe they would still find matches. But would it be love? I don't know. But there have been people who were completely honest about what they did, and the whole line did not pop on them.
Even Tiffany,
yeah. Even what was his name? Was it Timothy? Who didn't really hear what she said, but the ones that did, she didn't just get taken out because of that. So yeah, so I think if they're honest, then they will still find a match.
Okay, shout out to Bird Lady. It's crazy. I just had an insane thought. I don't think people understand just how merciful God truly is, because we live in a reality where God literally has the ability that every time you interact with somebody, a screen of your life can demonstrate in front of the person you're talking to. And imagine it shows all the all the things that you've done in the past 48 hours, whether it be explicit or nice or generous or whatever, and it displayed it right above your head every time you interacted with somebody. That would be like I don't think people would make it, bro.
Nobody would make it.
Nobody would make it, bro.
Your best bet is knowing what you did in those past 48 hours. You would have to essentially become a monk for the next 48 hours, and then go out and interact with people after you've become been a monk for 48 hours.
Imagine if Arlette did pop the balloon, and whenever when the contestants came out to meet the lineup, their whole social media was broadcasted on a screen. So if they have the OF link, everything just on the screen, people would be cooked. People would be cooked, bro.
Everybody would be fried.
All right,
absolutely.
Galen.
Yep, that's all you. I know you said something about having insight on this topic from a female perspective.
Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hey, what I wanted to add is, following what everybody else said, in a perfect world, you could be your authentic self and it would be well received. But the truth is, we don't live in a perfect world. And because a lot of people, whether we want to admit it or not, are judgmental on a certain level, people are just going to put their best representative forward, so that way they are well received. So, and I think a lot of women are lost. I'm not even in the dating scene. I'm just looking at it, as a spectator, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the Lord of the Jungle out here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what has happened. I haven't really dated in 10 plus years. I think I kind of just lost my interest in dating because it just was too much. And I just said, let me just focus on myself and just live life. What I think women will do, women know that if a man finds out that you have a huge sexual history, like let's say if you had a lot of partners, or if you have OnlyFans, or if you used to do a certain type of sex work, 9 times out of 10, a lot of men will look at you in a negative way as if you're promiscuous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the type of person, I will sit back and be quiet and observe a lot of things. I've listened to men talk in those barbershops, and I'm the only girl in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I have I had an older brother and a younger brother. I've listened to my older brother and his friends talk about women, that they've had sex with. Um, so that's why a lot of women, whether they want to admit it or not, may not want to come out and say, hey, I've done this sexually, because what society has pushed down our throats, especially if you come from a religious background, that you have to present yourself as pure as possible so a man may see you as a potential wife, or this is someone that I can marry, and the type of woman that will be accepted by my family and to have kids with. Now, another thing is I have to call out a lot of men, not all men, but a lot of men. A lot of men send mixed messages to women, and women send mixed messages to men too. But for the sake of this part of the conversation, a lot of men do send mixed messages to women. I've seen men say, "Oh, I want a good girl. I don't want a woman that's sexually promiscuous. I like a girl that's wholesome. I don't want a woman out here that's been with everybody." And I've seen men date women that have a certain type of sexual history. And so you have some women who maybe are a bit more wholesome. They sit back, well, why say one thing and then you do something else? It's just like with when it comes to hair. A lot of black men will say, oh, I don't like a woman that wears fake hair. But then why go on dates with women that wear lace fronts or wear
Mm-hmm.
the fake hair and the
Mm-hmm.
fake eyelashes and the fake nails if that's something that you don't like? And so that's why I've seen, and I've had women tell me this as well, women that have naturally long hair and naturally long nails don't get a lot of attention. Now,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the women that have the lace fronts and the lashes and the nails, or that are sexually promiscuous, maybe they have a better attitude. But then, on the outside looking in, a lot of women are confused.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
feel
agree.
that.
It sends mixed messages. And it's just like, there was an episode where a couple was matched, and you guys did a review on it. I'm not sure if the young man name was Jason. The lady name was Kamara. I think she was from Atlanta. And this is where KiteZz got so upset, like he
Oh. Mm-hmm.
man's IG page because the man is in the process of trying to become a preacher or a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I was talking about, how, he sent a mixed message to her where he said, oh, he had an issue with the picture on her page.
Mm-hmm.
But then you allegedly meet another woman 2 weeks later and she got access to your house.
Yep. Talk
So
about it.
you drop this other chick. I'm serious. I just have to call out the hypocrisy. So this woman that you were talking to for a little while longer was about to fly out to your city, and then she saw a picture of another woman in your house. And I met her 2 weeks later. Allegedly, he said 2 weeks later. But she got access, whatever she did, she got access to your house.
You know what's funny? I'm glad you even bring this up, because when we did our reaction to that, boy, when I tell you the negative feedback we got for that video, because people completely missed the whole reason why I was upset with Jason to begin with. It wasn't that I'm a supporter of the girl posting, because the girl posted pictures of like, they weren't as bad as a lot of people, but it was like there were
lingerie photos.
Yeah, because she was a model and she was doing lingerie for modeling, right? A lot of people mistook me being upset with him, because I'm like, they were like, oh, KiteZz wants this preacher to just accept a lingerie model and all that, which it was not the point at all. I'm not supporting her doing the lingerie business at any point. The point I was mad at Jason for was, one, you took a woman she's doing this for work, but she's telling you she's willing to pursue after being closer to the gospel and seeking God and being the preacher's wife that you need to be. You took her and you basically put her on Front Street in front of the world and said, this was bad. I can't date her because she does all this. I need a woman that's going to be like more modeled and blah, 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 and be more class and, demonstrate godliness. But then you have a chick in your house cooking you food, and you can't even show her face on it. You can't even show her face. And we all know when people start doing these Instagram videos where they show somebody, but they don't show their face, they trying to like keep them private and all that. It's like, brother, she's already in your house cooking food in some sweats.
Right.
And then you say, oh, it wasn't that long. But then we find out you quote unquote, this happened 2 weeks after you just broke up with the chick. The reason why I got mad at Jason was because you're about to be a preacher, and what you did was hypocritical. It was hypocritical.
It was.
And then to shame the girl, but then do something hypocritical like that, I can't support you. Because my thing is, if you're gonna shame her, then you need to stand on and not do the thing that you're shaming her for. But to shame her and call her all this, and then you go do something even sleazier, but now I expect you to preach the gospel and lead people the right way. As a Christian, I'm upset at you. I'm more mad at you than I'm mad at her, because she already acknowledged that she was doing wrong, but you're professing to do the right thing, and now you just shamed her, but then you did something wrong as well. And as a Christian, I have to call you out, because brother, your impact on what you do at that show, there's a lot of people that are in similar situations. There's a lot of women that are in that situation that girl was in. There's a lot of men that are in the situation that girl was in, who are, if they find the right person, they're willing to drop all the worldly stuff. But you did that to them. You don't know the negative effect that you just put out to the thousands and thousands of people who are in that situation that just watch that, who are gonna go, yeah, that's why I don't date Christians. Christians are hypocritical. You gave them that power just now. And that's why I was mad at him. But I'm glad you brought it up.
No, I agree with you being mad at him, because if you're going to go for an occupation of being a preacher, and this is why a lot of people don't care for Christianity, you have to stand in it 10 toes down. You can't flip flop. You can't be, double-sided. And honestly, I think the woman that he met 2 weeks later probably was always there in the background. He just did something I've seen a lot of men do, was to keep their options open and not letting the other person know. He may have, for example, hey, I like this woman, but I want to see if there's something better for me. And if there's not, then I'm going to stick with what I have until, something happens, and then I'll move on to someone else. I've seen guys do that. But but in a perfect world, people would be their authentic selves, but it's not going to happen. And see, the thing I've seen with men are attracted to sexual women.
Mm.
You know, men are freaky, and this is why you have a lot of women that do the overtly sexual stuff, not just the OnlyFans and the sexy pictures. If you look at the pictures now on Instagram, like 90% of the pictures are the women posing from the back showing how big their butt is.
Mm. True.
Over 90%.
Right.
Because men like, the big butt. And women know that. So a lot of women say, well, I have to be this to get men attention.
But
And it's just, both sides are just sending mixed messages.
right.
No, I agree completely.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing
So
that,
that's-
KZ.
Yeah, appreciate you.
All right. Hurdle.
Hurdle, and then Gino, and then we're gonna move on to another topic.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes, sir.
What up, though?
Kites, you brought up a good point about when you said that when are we just gonna stop having sex for fun? Because, like you said, when you have sex, you're creating an intangible spiritual connection with the other person, and you're transferring your energies to and from each other. You're taking her energy, she's taking yours. And every time a woman has sex with a man and his DNA gets in her, it changes her DNA. It tweaks it every time. There's been studies on that. And I think we think about pleasure so much that it skews our view of what sex should be and what a partner should be. Since slavery, we've been told, obviously the overseers and masters told us who to have sex with and when. I want you to breed now. So sex at that time wasn't seen as something that of importance, of spiritual importance. It was just seen as a duty. And then after slavery, when we weren't told to have sex with each other anymore, that's when the outbreaks of syphilis and other STI transference came about, because we started having sex with multiple partners, and it started a movement of sexual liberation. So from that time now, it's just been this unhealthy view of what sex should be. And in the media, we are led astray from God in everything, even definitions. What Christians call sodomy is being called gay and zesty, when gay really means happy. It's being watered down. What is drunkenness and alcoholism is called getting effed up or getting lit. Adultery is called having an affair. They're kind of making it easier for us to swallow, when no one should be committing adultery. And if we keep letting our lusts lead our romantic interactions, we will never be happy, because we'll be striving for something we'll never achieve, because you can never achieve true love from lust.
Right.
And I feel like a good indicator is, can you look at this person and say, if I only had sex with this person in the act of procreation, would I be happy? If we stopped this casual sex and only started having purposeful sex. Now, this is just a litmus test. I don't expect anyone to just have procreational sex. Obviously, that's the goal, but can you look at this person and say, if I only had procreational sex with this person, would I be happy? Would I be content? And that's what I got to say.
Okay.
Shout out to Hurdle. Hurdle God, shout out to you, brother. Gino, you freaky frog.
Gino, please, I beg you, bro.
No, Gino, talk about what go ahead, Gino. Go ahead and share your thought, man.
I was just gonna say, man, that it really, honestly, only basically people that only value honesty is gonna accept anyone for who they are. Because if they go on the pot the balloon lying or telling the truth, the truth gonna come out regardless. Like if she say that she got OnlyFans on there, she might get popped or she might not. It depends on who popping the balloon. They might give us a brownie point just because she was honest about it. He might be a freaky fraud like me. Like you never know. Like, like you never know. And honesty has to be valued. Like. I am going to bed.
Oh
right
man.
after this. I am going to bed.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
All right, Gino. Have a good rest,
All
man.
Good night, brother.
Okay.
That is hilarious.
Hey, I respect it though. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to admit it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to say he know who he is, man.
You know, hey.
He know who he is, man. I respect it.
It take a real man to admit it. Some of y'all some freaky frogs, but y'all never say it. Y'all never admit it. Somebody said, did he fall asleep mid-sentence? Shout out to Gino, man. He just tired, y'all. He just tired, man.
My cam off, but my hands is up. You know what can I say? All right,
yo.
let's get back on track. You know, I don't like to derail for too long. What you thinking about the next for the next? Next topic request.
Okay, let's do it. Let's see.
I'm not the breadwinner in the relationship. You mean any man I'm with?
Yeah.
I'm not the breadwinner in the relationship.
But would you be okay if you were?
I'm not. There's no man I know from you or he got a regular job. He work at a warehouse. He is the head of the household. He is the breadwinner. I will chip in as he see fit because he's the head. Now, this is the way I was raised. A lot of women not going to agree with me.
No, they ain't going to agree with that, Cheryl.
I'm cool if you don't, but...
They're about to tear you up, Cheryl. Let me just let you know.
Tear me up because here's the thing. Even if I make more money, it doesn't make me the breadwinner.
Relationship.
I'm not the breadwinner.
Oh.
Oh. Who submitted this topic? Key. Oh, snap.
Yes.
Oh, dang.
Rest in peace to our fallen soldier.
Yeah, I hope she's doing good wherever she's at. She's handling some stuff, but she's not with us today. But shout out to her. Are men still the breadwinner if their spouse makes more money than them? Are men
I feel like we could even expand that further.
Go ahead.
So like everybody can join in. I would just say do you follow or believe in the breadwinning philosophy? I think that'd be good. I'll add more to it. At least you ain't got to worry about it. That way everybody could jump in.
Okay.
So once you type that out, ask that question one more time, and then we'll start having people raise their hands. That's an interesting. I'm gonna play the clip one more time for y'all. I'm gonna play it one more time.
Yeah, please play it one more time, people.
I'm not the breadwinner in the relationship. You mean any man I'm with?
Yeah.
I'm not the breadwinner in the relationship.
But would you be okay if you were?
I'm not. There's no man I know from you or he got a regular job. He work at a warehouse. He is the head of the household. He is the breadwinner. I will chip in as he see fit because he's the head. Now, this is the way I was raised. A lot of women not going to agree with me.
No, they ain't going to agree with that, Cheryl.
I'm cool if you don't, but...
They're about to tear you up, Cheryl. Let me just let you know.
Tear me up because here's the thing. Even if I make more money, it doesn't make me the breadwinner.
Relationship.
I'm not the breadwinner.
I feel like if we were to show somebody this clip back in like 250 AD, Nobody would say anything. They would be like, that woman's right. And then they would just casually walk right. But I feel like in 2025, if you show this to a group of people, it's gonna be a lot of men going like this. And there's gonna be a lot of angry other gender. So
let me get the definition of breadwinner for those that.
That's what Monet put it in the chat.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. So the topic number 3, are men still the breadwinners if their spouse makes more than them? And do you believe in or subscribe to the breadwinning philosophy? All right.
Yes.
That's an interesting.
Yes.
I'm surprised I'm not seeing more hands up for this conversation. This seemed like a more engaging topic. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Bringing people up. Boom.
Getting up, yeah. Give me a chance to get everybody up. Even though wasn't the first person to accept it, Leo is the first one that I invited up, so I will allow Leo to speak first. So you, Leo, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Say what you gotta say. Go for it.
Cool. Okay. Well, I haven't seen this video. I don't even know who that lady is. But am I wrong for that?
I don't know who she is either.
She's a famous comedian.
Okay.
She's good. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead. She's a famous comedian.
Okay. Well, I don't think she's completely wrong, but I feel like the way people are gonna defend that, or at least how I would, is it depends on the type of man that you with. If he a masculine man, or if he's more like the feminine type, because some of these females kind of like that, if we being honest. And so if he more the feminine type, yeah, there's gonna be pushback because the woman's used to being the dominant one. But if we talk about a masculine man, whether she make more money or not, yeah, he's the head of the household. That is what it is. So that's my little short thing.
Okay. Shout out to Leo. All right. Let's go in the row. Miles.
All right, man. Wow, we really been cooking this episode. I'm glad everybody's answer's been great. So keep it up, y'all, man. We doing it good. New York in the chat going crazy. You know, everybody doing the year. You know, we out there. You know, we got to hold it down. But real quick, I just want to give a big shout out to my great grandfather and my great grandmother, who are no longer with us. My great grandmother passed away at 107. Dang. Yeah, she was 107 when I met her at 100. And my great grandfather passed away at 79. He was the breadwinner. But she made more money. My great grandfather never learned how to count money. He couldn't read, couldn't write, but he still was the breadwinner. And but she made more money, and they end up having 11 kids, and they stayed together till death did them part. So I agree with it. As much as people might not like it, I think people who don't like it, I think that's just the other influencers behind the scenes that's manipulating the minds. You know, hypnotism is a real thing. So if you constantly keep putting in like a woman's mind that, oh no, if you make more money, you're in charge. You make more, you know, it's manipulation to the mind. But in real life, though, or how some people say in Cali that I'm learning in a real way. It's the breadwinner. Yeah, the man is the breadwinner. Yeah. Yeah, I heard y'all. Yeah, y'all be saying that a lot. That Cali thing in a real way. I like that. I be saying that now.
No, we don't say that. Only one person says that.
Yeah, we do not say
it in a real way.
No, that is not Cali slang.
Yeah.
That is not our slang, gang.
It's only one person that said it that's been on this channel, and it ain't been us.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you now. If you heard that slang on No Jumper, that does not reflect us at any point.
I haven't heard that. No, I haven't heard that. Well, let me apologize then from the East Coast. Then that's my apologies. Then I do apologize, but because I've heard some people say, and they like, I'm from Cali in a real way. I'm like, so is that a real thing or
no?
Okay, well, but thank you for clarifying that though. I appreciate it. Yeah,
They're not born and raised, Cali.
Oh me, I ain't never
Not
heard
born
that.
and raised.
Nah, shout out to the
Is
East
that like
Coast.
is that a Southern California thing or is that a Northern?
No,
or is that no Cali
That's
thing
not a
at all?
Cali thing at all.
That's not a Kelly thing. I have never heard somebody
That's
say in a real way. I've never.
That's somebody that was born in a different state that infiltrated Cali and brought that over here.
That is not our slang.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for letting me know. Okay,
Hey, shout out
but
to
yeah,
you.
no, definitely though, man. The breadwinner though, the men are the breadwinner. It is a thing. It makes the relationship work just from an emotional standpoint. But I can't wait to hear what everybody's got to say about it.
Okay. Shout out to Miles. Yeah, like Stephen say, dead homies. We do say dead homies a lot. On a dead homie, we do say that. But yeah, in a real way, I know. Nah, that's not us. Hey, Chris, let's go.
I would say, yes, man. It has really nothing to do with money. It just has something to do with your, like the previous woman said, it's your masculinity, really. Because if she's really following your lead as a man, it really won't matter how much money you make, because what she's actually following is your actual vision and purpose, right? That's what she's actually following. So that's really where the actual wealth is. It's actually in that, actually. It's not in the money, it's in the actual man. That's what I'm trying to say.
Somebody asked, is breadwinner and head of the household synonymous?
No.
In my opinion, I think it is, but hey.
What is synonymous? Hold on.
Like, do they relate?
One and the same.
Yeah, it's like similar.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the same thing. Yeah.
Well, Chris said no, so no. What makes them different, Chris, in your opinion?
I think what makes a difference as head of the household, because if you're always leading that woman, and that woman knows from day one that you're the leader, and she's going to follow your lead, no matter how much money that you're making, because she's always going to know that you're always leading and you're in charge. That's all,
Oh, okay.
And as far as the breadwinner goes, money. Listen, you can lose your job tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's all how you guys work together, really. Because if you're a solution-based man, you're actually gonna solve the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's gonna go. Quick, really quick. I think it's called a Gaylor. She was talking about some confusion between men and sex. Can I clear that up really quick?
Can you do it in 35 seconds?
Oh yeah, easy. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is how it goes. This is what it's about. It's about the haves and have-nots. The guys that aren't really getting any, they're going to complain about body count. The guys that are, they're not going to complain about it. That's really that simple. That's what it's all about. So the guys that are not really getting any, they're going to make up this false thing on body count and all this stuff about wanting good girls, knowing that if they were presenting the actual opportunity, they would actually do it. So don't believe those guys. There you go.
All right. 32.
All right.
Got this one is crossed.
All right. Shout out to Chris. Boom.
Yep.
Poetical. Boom. Y'all really love that red pill word. Okay.
I don't think it's red pill. It's not red pill, Lord. It's his opinion and perception of it. I don't think it's red pill, y'all.
I think y'all gotta be careful with that red pill word, because y'all be throwing it out like from neutral. Y'all throw like y'all be. It's happened last Flock Talk, bruh. I'm gonna call it out right here. Right, last Flock Talk, this man Chris said this simple statement: "Man, you gotta improve yourself before you even focus on worrying about a partner." And the first thing that was thrown out was, "This man is red pill." No. No.
You know what?
Y'all be throwing that mug out from neutral, bro.
I'm about to say next Vlog Talk, bro. I'm finna put Chris, Miles, and Hurdle in a 3-way death match. and let's see who really red pill. Y'all wanna figure this out so bad? I'm gonna put y'all in a 3-way death match in the Coliseum, bro. We gonna see who gonna walk away.
because bro, there's a fine line between speaking on just male improvement and then red pill. Like I think that like they're not like, if a man talks about masculinity, that's not red pill. If a man talks about self-improvement, that's not red pill. Like those ideologies, there, even though red pill has some things focused on male improvement, like labeling something red pill is like, it's y'all, like I said, y'all throw it from neutral. Y'all don't care if y'all negative. Y'all don't care if y'all on wake up. Y'all just throw red pill from neutral. If you play fighting games, you know exactly what I'm saying. But go ahead, Political.
Okay, I mean, you talking about the red pill stuff, which I mean, I can see why people would. I can see why people would think that's a red pill, because it almost sounds similar. But as far as this topic goes, I mean, I seen the clip too because I watched Shannon Ocho and watched a podcast. I mean, she said the key thing in the clip that she was raised to, you know what I mean, to believe that type of thing, to believe that type of situation. So she, as a woman who was raised like that, she knows basically how to let a man lead and let her fall back, even though she may make more money than him. In this day and age, 2025, are a lot of women being raised like that? I would say no, and that's part of the difference. I mean, now we have women making as much, if not more, than men, and so with that comes a certain level of control, a certain level of direction that they want to lead things in the relationship. Sometimes don't want to be led, and you get that whole, you know, bumping of the heads when it comes to that. So I just feel like, I mean, the man should be the breadwinner. He should be the one, you know, leader in the household and all that. But it doesn't always turn out that way. It doesn't, you know, I mean, it doesn't always work out that way, because now a lot of women feel like they have equal say so, or they don't want to be led because they're making just as much, so they feel like they have just as much of a voice, if not more, because they're bringing the same, if not more, financially to the table, and that kind of tweaked that whole dynamic.
Okay. All right, shout out Portical. Smiley.
What's up? What's up, man? At the end of the day, I got a question at the end of this statement, because I really want y'all opinion on this or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like that kind of goes back within the 50-50 situation, because, like, it just depends on somebody's situation. Like, everybody's situation is gonna be different depending on what type of person you was with. You know, because some man is not prideful. Like, some men to be like, okay, she could pay the bills, or some men to be like, okay, I'll cook for the family, or want to cook. But the difference is because they haven't had a lot of men that's passionate about, like, doing female roles, like cleaning and stuff like that. Like, for instance, my cousin, he loved cooking. He more passionate about cooking than, like, a female is, and he bring me like a plate after, you know, he done cooking. But you get what I'm saying? seeing that, you would be like, wow, it is men that do a lot of female type of so-called roles. And I feel like that's kind of like a little bit sad, because it's like we not generalizing people as an individual. We only generalizing them as, okay, you're a man, so society says you have to do this or have to do that, instead of looking out on it from your personal experiences, or the people that's around you. So y'all really have to think outside the box when it comes to that. Like, and then another, my question is for like Wes and like KiteZz and like Alex is, when when a woman is making more money or is more like successful, do you think she kind of has to settle, or like, do you think she have to date outside her race, or like how do y'all feel about that? Like, or like, what I'm saying? Like, do you think that they kind of do have to, like, I ain't gonna say like downgrade or like anything like that, cause they feel like a lot of men in their like race or their like that they was attemptly attracted to them ain't really trying to better themselves, so they kind of got to go to a different environment, or if that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
As Bird Lady said in the chat, she doesn't have to downgrade. Realistically, I don't think that like anything in that scenario has to be done, because it really just depends on like who you are partnered with. If there's a woman who makes more than her partner, and her partner have had this discussion about what her making more money looks like in terms of their household and running their household, and this person is cool with that, then it'll be successful. If this person is not cool with that, then you find somebody who is, essentially. Or in this scenario, as arbitrary as it may be, we would give this like title of upgrading, like in the sense that you would get somebody who makes as much money than you or more money than you, or whatever the case may be. But like, there has to be some type of stability in that dynamic. And if the stability comes in a form of understanding, where the man in this scenario is like, all right, honey, you make more than me, cool, I'm like, go get that money. And like, what does that look like for us? What, like, do you want me to be a house husband, because I work but I don't make as much as you? Do you want me to do more in terms of like certain stuff? Like, let me know what's up. And it's up to that person to be okay with that, and or a company what to keep the stability in their household afloat. Like, whatever that is what they need to do in this scenario. It really is just a matter of communication and being open to like, doing whatever that is may be to succeed with your partner. It's that simple.
Facts, because it's a team effort.
Absolutely.
I think I feel like when it comes down to, okay, so if a woman makes more money, does she have to settle, or should she like go outside of her race to like, because the one thing is like a misconception that I don't know why us as like, and it's not you, but this is just like Black culture in general. I don't know why there's
no, I was just saying like that. That's the typical mindset of like, not me. That ain't how I feel. I know it's a lot of successful Black men, but like typically they'll say like, we not really a part of the 1%, which ain't true, but just in general.
Yeah, one thing I can't stand is, and like I said, this is not you. This is just me talking about us in general. For some reason, Black culture, we do this thing where we I don't know why we do this, but we'll sit there and like we'll put ourselves in these like weird categories of like we'll put ourselves in like these weird categories of like, oh, these problems are exclusively Black people problems. And it happens online a lot, and it happens online the most, where people get this this mindset of like, oh, these are exclusively black people problems, so we need to go to another race where they don't have these problems. And it happened during the reunion with the lady that was bald, or not bald, but she had the low haircut, and she was talking about why she doesn't practice Christianity, and then she brought up like, this is exclusively a black culture thing. Like, she kept saying like, in the black household, and the black this and the black this, and it's like, it's really sad, because I don't know why it's hard for us as black people to understand that the grass is not greener on the other side. It's not. I don't know why people keep believing it. I don't know why people just act like it is. I feel like, even like when I see like those dudes are like, oh yeah, like don't settle for these Western black women. You need to get a passport and go get a real black woman. Like, it's like, or go get go to Thailand, or go to Vietnam, or go get you a Asian woman, or go get you a Russian woman, or get you a blah blah blah. It's like, I don't know why y'all think that. Let's look at it statistically wise, right? Russia is at a point where they have so many women that are not getting married, that they're asking people to come to Russia and marry women. Japan is at a state that is so bad that they're asking people to fly to Japan just to mate with women and get the population up. Now let's use our critical thinking skills, right? If the grass is so much better, and the black culture is the culture that we are just the only ones who don't get romance right, and we don't understand it, and all we know is this, and we're the problem, why are other cultures asking other cultures to come help them with their population problems? If the Asian culture had mastered relationship, marriage, and the family household structure, why does Japan have a problem where their men and the women are not having sex and they're not having children, and all of the men are saying dealing with relationships and trying to start a family is just too stressful at the time, we don't want to do it? Like, it blows my mind. Or why would Russia, like, let's think, Russia. I'm gonna say it one more time. Russia. Why would Russia?
Say it one more time. Putin gonna spawn in the Discord call.
And hey man, he probably already in here. But they're asking people to marry their women. Why? If they got it all figured out, why exactly mail ordered brides from Russia? Why is that a thing if the black culture is the only culture that don't understand how relationships work? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, people don't click with that. Like, it don't, like, when I hear people say it, and I like, oh, if you're a successful black woman, the first thing you need to do is go find you a white man. Bro, why are we acting like the 1950s didn't exist? Why are we acting like the 1950s wasn't a thing? Do y'all remember what the 1950s was like? I know we wasn't alive, but there's a lot of footage. There's a lot of court cases. Y'all know we can look up the court cases that happened in the 50s. Y'all know y'all can go back and listen to the interviews of women who had husbands in the 1950s, white husbands. Y'all know that meme where it's like the guy walks in the house and he's like, man, it smells like you're not cooking in here. Starts taking his vest off and putting his boxing gloves on. All right, get ready, honey. Like, why are we acting like that wasn't happening? Y'all think humans are humans no matter what. If one culture does it, there is going to be a bad habit that one culture does that every culture does. The only reason why black people get the brunt of it and people don't understand it is because black people are the main culture that broadcasts our ignorant tendencies. We broadcast it. Look at all of our media. We broadcast it. Man cheats on wife. We broadcast it. But guess what? Just because you see a black guy cheat on his wife, that don't mean white men don't cheat, and Asian men don't cheat, and Samoan men don't cheat, and like, it's not a black exclusive thing. The divorce rate in America is at 70, like, what is it? Like, it's like 70% of marriages are divorced. Those are not exclusively black divorces. That is divorce as a whole. You get what I'm saying? I don't get why the black culture, I don't know why we do that. It's just like, we're so weird for that. But I'm done with my little rant, man. Go ahead, Steppa, go ahead and speak on the topic, gang.
We're still on the same topic. Are men still the breadwinner if their spouse makes more than them?
And do you subscribe to the breadwinning philosophy and or ideology?
Personally, I feel like both genders should be the breadwinner as long as both genders are, like, for example, paying the rent and the bills, etc. I mean, I don't feel like it should be like a gender thing, like on like which gender make the most money. To be honest with you, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Steppa always be straight to the point.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't feel like this gender thing on which gender make the most. Like it should be both genders at the end of the day, basically. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Shout out to Steppa. Who's next?
Bird Lady, then Bear Claw, then Hurdle.
Okay, gotcha.
And then Squaw, and then we got 2 more people there.
Okay. Bird Lady.
Can y'all hear me this time as well?
Yes, we can.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, long time no see. But my situation is a little different. My husband is like 20 years older than me, so he's extremely traditional where man works and do all the things. But since I didn't have kids, I'm like, hey, I want to work. At least to support my like my hobbies, the farm. I mean, he approved six chickens, and I have over 200 and some pigs. So I didn't want to put that burden on him, so I worked for that reason. But he believes in paying the bills and things of that sort. Now I look at my brother and his wife. He originally made more money than her, but he paid her way through getting her bachelor's degree, her master's degree, and now her doctorate degree. So he makes more money. She makes more money than him now, but she still looks to him as the man that he is. Because even though, like the Bible says, you know, God is the head of man, the man is the head of the woman. So it doesn't say that the man is the head of the woman unless she makes more money than him. So I feel like regardless of how much money that woman makes, you still have to defer to that man as the man. And that man has to take up his rightful place. The bank account, yeah, it means something, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't mean anything the way that it's supposed to line up. So I believe in men, regardless of what their financial position should still be the head of the household.
Exactly.
Yeah, one thing to clear up on the shout out to Bird Lady. Shout out to you and your husband.
Shout out to Bird Lady. Yeah.
To clear up how the Flock Talk works, we don't go by like the order that is on screen because it's gonna go by name. It's also gonna go by color and all that other stuff. We can see when your hand is accepted. We can see that, so you're fine. But Bear Claw, you're next. It shows us on the screen when you guys accept it.
Okay, my bad on that one.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, how y'all doing? Good evening. Hey, I wanted to point out something kind of to my point. Something Rena Marie posted in the chat. She said relationships and marriages should not be led by money.
It's true.
And that leads to my point here. So, breadwinner being synonymous with head of household, I feel like that's like the general like statement, right? And I believe that. But there are instances where if the woman is making more money, the man is still head of household. She just makes more money. So I feel like if we're looking at that when it comes to breadwinner, so bread specifically is money, right? It's income. Okay.
Yes.
So if we're looking at the bread as money, then there are marriages where the woman makes more. There are marriages where the woman does bring more income into the household. But if the man is like, the protector and the leader and the provider, that shouldn't change up the dynamic. Because at the end of the day, money is spent every day. Money is saved and spent every day. It's fleeting. You can save a lot of it, but we don't keep it when we leave. But our souls, and if we're leaked as a married couple, that stays. That's strong. So I feel like when it comes to being the breadwinner and things of that nature, I don't think it's as important as it should be. I know men, we like to, be the provider, and in terms of that, we like to make the most money. I believe we like to do that in my mind. But at the end of the day, if my wife is making more than me, I ain't gonna trip about it, because she's still gonna give me the position to be the leader. And if you are in a great relationship, there's going to be times where the woman is in the driver's seat anyway. We both can't be in the driver's seat. We're going to crash. So I really feel like, breadwinner is usually synonymous with head of household, but I really believe, like, as far as like household roles and things of that nature, money shouldn't be like the dictating factor of that. And, like, that's my take.
Okay, good take.
Good take.
Spitting.
Okay. Let's Hurdle next. Hurdle.
Hurdle and Squaw.
Rena will be the last person we have speak on this topic, and then we're gonna move to the last topic. And
Yo.
Yes, sir.
So the question was, can a man be the breadwinner, or can the woman, if the woman is making the more money, can the man still be the breadwinner?
Mm-hmm.
And do you believe in or subscribe to the breadwinning philosophy?
If your woman makes more money than you, money is a resource. So money should be allocated to the family either way. And I don't think that should affect the household leadership and who has the leadership in the house, because the leadership should be upheld to the biblical principles of what a man and woman should be. And if you're on your purpose and your wife is on your purpose, but your wife's purpose just happens to make more money, more worldly money, man-made money, then I don't think that should affect who's in the lead. So I do agree with her to a certain extent, but she's living under the assumption that being head of a household, being the breadwinner is automatically being the head of the household, when that's not true.
Okay.
Gotcha. Child Hurdle. Okay, now we got Squaw. Squaw.
All right. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
How are you?
Doing great. Good to see you guys again. So basically, I was actually talking to my husband about this topic. Here's the thing. I can see what what's her name, Cheryl Underwood, was saying. I kind of feel like that she was saying that her man was the head of the household, regardless of his income, who makes the most money. And I completely agree with that. I feel like, being that the man is the head of the house, it doesn't matter who makes the most money, who is the so-called breadwinner, because face it, when we ask that question, it's more, to me, it's a person asking, well, who wears the pants in the family, or whatever the case may be. And if the wife makes the most money or whatever, then, and if that's being said, it automatically like demasculates the man. Let's just put it out there like that. So in my head, I'm thinking that no matter what, if somebody asks who's the breadwinner, regardless, I'm gonna say my husband's the head of the house, and that's all they need to know. It's no one else's business. There could be situations where, like we were talking, there were times that if we go to Jackson Hewitt or whatever, go get our taxes done, he's still the head of the house on our tax forms financially. when it comes to taxes. But there were times that I may have made more money that year because he was focusing more on his studies and getting his degree. I think like another woman made the comment. I'm sorry, I didn't get her name. I was doing something else, but I was listening. Um, there's going to be fluctuations in cases like that. So he's focusing on his schooling. His hours may have been cut back because of that. I may make a little bit more money than him. But you know what? I'm not going to walk in Liberty Tax and say, oh, I'm the head of the house today. It's still going to be him. And so I'm going to respect him no matter what. If someone asks, which like I said, it's none of their business, but people do ask, I'm gonna just say, he's the breadwinner, he's the head of the house. And just plain and simple. So I think that's what Cheryl was trying to get at. Like, it doesn't matter who she is, what type of celebrity, how much money she makes. I think she was basically telling Shannon, it's none of your business. He's the breadwinner. And that's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Squaw. Great take.
I like that take, Squaw.
Okay, Monet.
Yo, what's up?
What up,
though? I don't know. Maybe it's just my understanding, or maybe I just have a different thought process. But I feel as though we're getting the term breadwinner and head of the household misconstrued. And I say that because while the American way of life has portrayed the man of the household to have a whole bunch of money and everything, like the man who's the head of the household, he doesn't necessarily always have to have money. It's about his status, it's about his power, it's about how he leads the family. And essentially, like, I feel as though both a man and a woman can be a breadwinner. If you disagree with me, you disagree with me, because the definition of a breadwinner is somebody whose wages and funds contribute to the household and supports the household. So if I, as a woman with my husband, have a job and I'm like, and say hypothetical scenario, my kids are getting bullied at school and I want to homeschool them. If I use the money from my job to pay for homeschooling, I'm contributing to my household and I'm supporting my household, i.e. therefore I'm the breadwinner. Now, it does suck that breadwinning is the term where money is involved. And I don't think money should always be involved when it comes to a household, but honestly, with inflation, that's just the world we live in, but that's not the point. I feel as though a true breadwinner is somebody who contributes to the house and supports the house in any way they can. So I essentially could be a breadwinner by taking care of my house, by hiring somebody who knows how to clean my house. I'm taking care of my house. I'm taking care of everything that's in my house. So I don't like how I'm hearing terms such as my man or my husband is the man of the house, because even if he doesn't make as much money as me or whatever, I don't like how I'm hearing those terms, because my husband could still be the man of the house and I'm making more money than him. It's just that simple. But I mean, I think about things differently, so.
That's a good take.
Okay. Shout out to Monet.
Yeah.
Boom. I never have to move her because she always moves herself. Shout out to Monet. All right. We said Rena was the last one on this topic, so Mo KSA. Hello. There he is. Hello.
Go ahead, Mo. It's all you.
You might be having issues connecting.
Yeah. Mo, if your
unmuted, but
yeah, if your microphone's not working, it helps to leave the Discord call in general and then just rejoin. Cause I see him unmuting. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna disconnect him, and then Mo, just rejoin and re-raise your hand, and we'll invite you up. Rena.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing
Good,
great.
how
How
are
are you?
you?
I'm good. So I have a question. If a woman is the quote unquote breadwinner, if she dates someone who's not on her level, is she's considered being desperate or she just wants the power, wants to be in control?
Wait, what was your
That's
question?
like two scenarios. Say again?
Can you ask that again one more time? I'm sorry.
Oh yes. So if the woman is the breadwinner, she makes more money than her husband or boyfriend, whatever. Is that's her like being desperate? If she get with somebody who make less money than her, or it could be like a control or power thing. She wants to run everything. Like I just asked her because I'm
I think it depends
breadwinner.
on the woman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it depends on the woman, honestly.
Like for instance, I say Rihanna and ASAP Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna, she's a quote unquote billionaire, and ASAP Rocky, he's not broke, but he's not up there. You won't see him on the Forbes list. So I was just saying, if she like wants to date another billionaire, is it a higher chance she to date somebody outside her race? Because it's not that many black billionaires exist.
This kind of feels like Smiley's question in the sense, and I would just say like it really just depends on what she wants to do or like who she likes.
Best way I
Because I mean,
Oh, my fault.
I was just gonna say like Rocky, what they got 2 kids together now. Like she didn't got pregnant twice by this man. They married. So it's like they locked in essentially. But in the event that like something went awry and whatever they had going on, I mean, I don't know if like it's all about money because like yeah, she has dated other billionaires who are outside of her race, but I think it really just depends on like what she values the most. If she values her partner having money, then you know she could pick anybody that has, you know, or is in kind of the same like industry as her in relation to entertainment and whatnot. But like if she values her partner having more money than her, which I would say clearly she doesn't because she is with someone who makes less than her, even though he does still have money, then she would date outside her race. But at the end of the day, this is a very like subjective hypothetical, depends on the inner workings of this person in question, and we unfortunately do not know that because they are a celebrity.
Oh yes, I know that. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I would
Go ahead, Kite.
For people that have this question towards that, like you and Smiley, I would ask this as a counter because it like the counter kind of answers the question. So if a woman makes more money than a man and she dates a man who makes less money, if that's seen as lowering your standard or dating down or settling, then is that the same logic for a man that makes more money than his woman and he dates somebody who makes less? Would you say that man is settling or he's dating down or he's, you get me? You get what I'm trying to ask?
Yes, I can hear you ask, but according to society, the man's supposed to make more money than a woman. He's supposed to be the provider. He's supposed to be the one that, yes, they bring most of the money home. That's according to society. I think it's wrong, but
well,
you want the society answer, but my answer is, I feel like both partners can come together and be a power couple, just like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
So the reason why this question actually does make sense, because I see Poetical say it's not the same logic, but when you think about it, it really is, because up until the feminist movement and up until equality in the workforce and all the things that have came by that we have done in the US to create this system that women have the opportunity to make the same or actually make more. We live in a society now where there is more and more women in the workforce who are making the same or more than the average man. And we also live in a society where we've also quote unquote abolished a lot of the gender norms that society has set before us. So in a world where if we would say like this was the 1800s, this question wouldn't even be a question, because only the men had jobs at that time. Like there was other small odd things women could do, but most jobs were exclusively for men. But now in 2025, any women can get any job. It just a matters of if they're capable of doing the job. So men making money and women making money. I feel like if a woman makes more money and she dates a guy, I don't think it's her dating down or lowering her standards or settling, because in the same sentiment, now that we all make equal pay, equal rights, equal all this, by that understanding, if I make 100K and Alex makes 80K, did I go down? Did I settle? For instance, when me and Alex started dating, I was a full-time student and Alex had a job. So I was making no money and she was making money in general. So does that mean that Alex settled for me? Do you feel like you settled?
Are you asking me personally or are you just saying out loud?
Yeah. Do you feel like you settled?
No, I don't think I settled because I don't put value in a person based off of the amount of money that they make. There have been scenarios where we work the same job. We work together all the time. So there's instances where I would get a promotion and I would get a raise and I would end up making more than him. He would joke and say like, "Oh, you're the breadwinner," but I would never claim that title because that title does not belong to me. No, just because I make more than you doesn't make me the breadwinner. It doesn't make me the head of household, because everything that we do together is one. My money is your money. Bingo. If I'm broke, you're broke. If Bingo. He's broke, I'm broke.
Bingo.
So it's in the order of God intended. It's God, the husband, the wife, the children, and everything else after that. So regardless of how much money he makes, he could lose his job today. He will still be head of household. He will still be the breadwinner in my eyes and how I view him and the respect that I have for him as my husband, versus, I make more money than you, so now we're going to run things how I want to run things. There may be instances where, KiteZz wants to try something different, we don't agree all the time or this, that, or third, but that's not up to me to be like, you know what, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. I have to take that up. I have to take it up with God. God, my husband is trying to go this way. Guide him in a direction that he should go so he can properly lead me. It's not my place to get in the middle of whatever God has intended for him to do certain things when it comes to our household. So regardless of how much money he makes, if he's a millionaire, if he's a poor, whatever, he will always be head of household. The respect and, the regard that I have for him, he will always be head of household, because people aren't looking at the contributing factors of when we talk about like, oh, breadwinner this, breadwinner that. There's a lack of respect that comes with it. The dynamics of the relationship shifts and changes because people put these titles onto themselves and they let their ego and their pride get in the way of, this is still your spouse. It's not somebody random off the street that's trying to, flex band for band. This is still your spouse. So no, he will always be breadwinner, and it should be that way. That's just how I view it. That's how I think. That's what I believe, because that's what the Bible has told me. Even though breadwinner is not in the Bible, having respect and a high regard for your husband, regardless of where he's going in life, that is in the Bible. If a man leads you astray, God will show you, and it'll reflect through him first before it touches you. Me following my husband blesses us more than me going against him because I'm trying to be prideful or egotistic about, well, I make $150,000 a year, you only make $70,000. Who do you think you're talking to? It changes a lot. It's a lot of things that get put into us talking about breadwinner and finances. People don't like talking about finances. It really hurts their pride and their ego and their self-esteem. It's not a competition. If I have to file bankrupt today, it ain't just me filing bankruptcy. He filing it with me because he's a part of me. We're one.
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mo, let's see if we can get your mic to work this time, brother. One last time.
All right.
There it is.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I gave this mic its last chance. Other than that, I'm just going to buy a new mic for next week.
Hey, look. Luckily for you, you're the last one to close out this topic, brother. So finish strong.
No problem. So, in my culture, the man must be the breadwinner, because even though that he makes less money than his wife, he's still responsible, and he have a duty, to provide, to protect, to lead the house. I'm gonna give an example. It's actually my cousin. He makes way less than his wife, and he's still responsible to provide everything for her, for the kids, and the household in general. Even let's say, for an example, that there's a husband asked his wife to provide. She can actually refuse, and a lot of women refuse actually, because she can say that this is not my duty, this is not my responsibility. But let's say that if you lose your job, yes, she will be there for you, because they are a family. But if for example, for no reason that he asked her for money, then she can actually divorce him legally, because this is his duty, this is his responsibility. And that's why also the government have a loan with non-returnable loan for men who make less money than their wives. If you are married, they can give you up to 100,000 or 150,000 to support this household to continue, because they don't want this house or this family break down just because of financial reasons. So that's what I think. This is my opinion, that the man should be the breadwinner, even if he's making less money. This is his responsibility, and this is his duty. Sorry if I took too much time.
No. If anything, I'm glad you spoke on that, because in the West, you got to clearly see how the West have this conversation versus like on the Eastern side of the world and all that. It's really crazy, like how like political it gets over there. Like the fact that if I as a husband tell my wife, hey, I need you to pay this bill, and she feels offended, or she feels like she shouldn't do it, like she can go divorce me, is like, it's like, dang.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And he will beg her, oh, please don't tell anybody that I asked you to pay for something, because it's an insult if a man take money from his wife. It's disrespecting his manhood or his pride or whatever you can name it. Yeah.
Dang.
I think that's a perfect last point to kind of finish strong off of.
Okay. Shout out to Mo Cass.
Shout out to Mo. I'm gonna just call you Mo, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna call you Mo. All right. Oh, I didn't mean to kick him right when he unlocked his thing. All right.
It's all good. All right. The question was this Nitro, but he was the last one, so we could wrap up. But yeah.
Leo, are you still here? Leo, can you raise your hand, family? There you go. Because I know you were waiting patiently for this one. I mean, people can chime in on this one, but I think it's more of she wanted to speak on it. It was something I had
Just
stated.
answer a question.
Yeah. So on the Pop the Balloon for this episode, I asked the question towards people who are like more spiritual, because I feel like I have my opinions on when people claim or call themselves spiritual versus like they say like, oh, I don't practice religion, I don't practice organized religion, I don't practice a certain belief system, I'm spiritual. I have my own opinion about that, but I did pose the question of explain to me or break it down to me as a person who doesn't follow a certain belief system or code or like moral standard or etc. How in what ways or how are you being instructed on how to properly seek God, communicate with God, and understand God without, like, where is your source of information? Where is your source of understanding? Where is your source of enlightenment? what are you reading? What are you seeking? And so Leo said in the comments that she wanted to speak on it. So I did want to give her the respect. Because at the end of the day, everything is a learning process. It's always good to learn more and more about things. So Leo, by all means, you have the floor.
Hey, can y'all still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie, I jumped in my car real quick because I have a late night munchie for some ice cream, and I'm in Wisconsin. Yes, it's cold. Yes, you still can eat some ice cream in Wisconsin while it's cold.
Hey, shout out to Wisconsin.
But just I'm gonna try to respect the 2 minutes and 30 seconds just to keep it to answer it shortly. You're gaining your knowledge from your experience in the spirit and influential content. This is my experience, right? And my spiritual journey has been me coming to my own conclusions on what is spirituality, what is this world, what is God, what is the spiritual realm. And so like I just want to say to everybody, and I really do want to hear from other people who are spiritual if you have input too. There's a destination to everything, right? The question is, are you being intentional about your destiny, or are you drifting towards your fate? And it's like, where's your mindset? Are you in a growth mindset? Or are you in a stuck and stagnant mindset? As long as you're looking to grow in everything that you do, I think that your spiritual journey, you should be gaining knowledge through every single thing in this world, every experience, every conversation, every piece of content, every waking moment of your life. You should be a lifelong learner, and you should be gaining information with everything that you're learning from and coming to your own conclusions with that. Through my experience through my spiritual journey, I started off learning about astrology, numerology, tarot, all that stuff. I found out quickly that although you can communicate in the spirit that way, that's not the way that God or the Holy Spirit wants to communicate with you, because that way of communication it's like a wide gate, and you can get communication from anything through that way. And so I've learned through that process from my experience and me gaining new knowledge, not only just gaining new knowledge, but applying it as I grow, that there's certain things that if I want to grow to be not only just a competent human being, but, just a good person in body and soul and mind, there's certain things that are okay for me to do. And then there's certain things that's not okay for me to do. So I just think that as a spiritual, as people saying that they're spiritual, everybody's on a different journey in their spirituality, and everybody's on a different path. And the way you determine that path is, you gotta look at their mindset. Are they in a growth mindset, or are they in a stuck mindset? Are they being intentional, or are they drifting? So
I have a question. So, like, how to say this? When you're on your spiritual journey, like you say, you go through, you learn through like experiences. How do you know, like, through your experiences, if this is like what lines, like, do you still read your word to like kind of correlate the experiences that you go through to see, like, okay, God, I see what you're telling me, like this happened because of this, or how to deter from certain things in the world and still keep, what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know how to really phrase it
no
properly,
I get what you're saying. So I'll just say this I'll just say this actually. I was raised as a Christian. My grandfather was a pastor. So I was raised as a Baptist Christian. I fell from my faith. So I knew the word, but I rejected it. And in the beginning of my spiritual journey, so this is where I said everybody's on a different point on their path. In the beginning of my journey, I didn't read the Bible. I wasn't even comfortable saying God. I went solely off of my experiences and the content that I was consuming. I was consuming a lot of positive information. I don't know if it's okay to shout out other YouTubers, but I'm gonna shout out Ralph Smart because he was somebody that I listened to a lot in the beginning, just about energy and chakras, auras, blah 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 blah. Right. As I grew in my faith, then I started going to the Word and the Bible. Now I do read my Bible now. I do read the Word and I follow the Word, but I don't consider myself a Christian because everything in the Bible.
No, you're fine.
Everything in the Bible. I don't consider myself a Christian because I don't believe everything in the Bible. Basically, I think that the Bible is a big book of parables, and we're supposed to apply those things to our lives. Maybe not all literally, but it's a like a reflection of how we're supposed to live our lives.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, and I kind of get how you I understand what you're saying. That's the thing. Naturally in my mind, even just as a believer, like there's conflicts that I would naturally have, but the objective is to more see the perspective rather than try to like stomp the perspective. You get what I'm saying? Because that's a thing that I see it happens a lot, and it happens a lot even right now. Like even when I pose the question on YouTube, there was a lot of people who were saying a lot of things that were like, oh, this is the spiritual, this is how this works, this is how it works. And I asked this question because I wanted to see if what I assumed the answer was going to be the answer. You get what I'm saying? Kind of like when you do a test, the answer on the test that you're giving to the person, but you put an answer that they'll probably put down there just to see if they're going to answer the way you think they're going to answer. And when I did that and I asked this question, everybody who was saying like they're spiritual, they practice spirituality, they do all that, essentially gave me the same answer just with different words, but they gave me the answer I expected to hear. And that's not a bad thing, that's not a good thing, that's just me. I got that response I expected. But I thank you for sharing that with us, and I thank you for speaking on that. If people want to talk on the topic, I'll gladly let people talk on the topic. And then, I mean, I have opinions, but that's if my opinion is asked of it, I can share it. But yeah, so let's see. This one is kind of an open discussion. As long as people don't talk over each other, then we should be fine. So whoever has a question or wants to speak on it, go ahead and speak on it. Just be respectful, please. And allow people, once you hear somebody's voice, please be respectful and let them speak.
Hello?
Yep.
Yes, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, my thing about this, it's not so much about spirituality, it's about your relationship with God, really. That's really what it's all about, is an actual personal relationship. And how I apply that to life is how I deal with people, because it says in the Bible, if you say you love God and you hate people, you really don't love God, because guess what? God made us all in our own image, right?
His image, yeah.
In His image, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I base it on that. I base it on, okay, how do I deal with people when they don't agree with me, right? How do I deal with them? You know, how do I deal with them in a Christ-like way? When I'm upset with something in my life, how do I deal with that? So really, to me, it comes out in my actions. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay. Shout out to Chris.
Yeah, I focus on that. I focus on my actions. I focus on, okay, how is God in that situation in my life, and how am I treating the people around me in a godlike way, right? That's all.
Okay. All right. Who else wants to
Christ-like
speak on
way.
it? Shout out to Chris.
I can go next.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a decent amount of encounters with a lot of people who claim to be spiritual, and the one thing, like the one word that kind of just like sticks out to me, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, it's just what I discerned. The one word that I've noticed is confused when they're talking about this, and I say that because I'll hear common things of like, oh, I grew up in the church. My mom was a pastor. She forced me to go to church. And then as soon as I got a mind of my own, I realized I didn't want to follow the Bible. I didn't want to follow Christ. And then it'll be like, I'll still read the Bible, but I don't think the Bible is actually like true or something of that nature. Or, you know, I want to dabble into other religions and see what they're about. And in my opinion, like, well, not in my opinion, when I looked up the term spiritual, the main consensus of the meaning was that you have a deep connection with something beyond the physical world, or you have a strong connection to something that is in the physical world. And when I looked up that definition, it kind of just like, the word spiritual can fit to any religion that you put it to. And right. I think the one thing that I notice is that, like, with the people that I talk to, is they try to make the word spiritual fit to no religion, and you can't do that, because the main word in the word spiritual is spirit, which means that your spirit has to align with something. It can't just align with multiple things at once, thus you have that state of being confused. So that is just one of the things that I've noticed when I've had encounters with people who talked about being spiritual. They're like, oh, I've read about Hinduism. Oh, I've read about Christianity. Oh, I read about Islam. And, you know, I kind of like what Islam says. I kind of like what Christianity says about this. I kind of like what Hinduism says about this, but I don't really subscribe. Exactly. I don't really subscribe to them all. So I'm kind of just like nibbling on each of these plates. And in my honest opinion, like that kind of messes you up. Like, I'm not saying everybody has to subscribe to what God says. I mean, I would love it if they did, but that's just not the way of the world. But I just feel as though, like, when I see people use the term spiritual, they use it as a way to cherry pick and not subscribe to anything at all. And you can't do that when the root of the word is spirit, and your spirit has to connect with something. But that's my take.
Okay. All right. Who else wants to go?
I just love her. But I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what she was saying. How people, it always comes from, I grew up Catholic, or I grew up this, or I grew up that. And what I think is, you like the sowing and reaping part of it, but you don't like the thou shalt not fornicate part of it. You know, you like all the faith, but you don't like the, you know, just everything. You honor thy father and thy mother. You know, my daddy wasn't, you know, blah, 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 blah. And it's also, I look at different religions, and there's something to Christianity, because that's the only religion that gets attacked the way that it does. If you openly say that you are Jewish or Muslim or Hebrew Israelite, people are like, okay. But as soon as you say you're Christian, it's always this big pushback. It's always a big pushback. And usually when you're following something that's true or something that's real, the enemy is going to try to do whatever he can to discredit it. And there are people, because I remember my grandmother growing up, in the church, and I saw so many things. I would see somebody shouting all around the church, and then I'll see them in the lottery line. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. We ain't supposed to be gambling if we're real Christians. But you can't let what people did push you away from Jesus Christ. You can't. You have to get to know him for yourself. It is a experience. It's not something that you can learn about the word, and you can learn about, but his presence, once you experience that, like, this is the real on the real. The Bible talks about how, I think it's like in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, where it talks about how there are gods many, but there is one God. And that's a capital G. There are a lot of little G's running around here. So when you're spiritual, you're serving all these little G's. You're not serving the big G. You're not serving the main God, the true and living God. And no matter how good you treat people, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than just treating people right. I can't even put it into words because I'm getting excited, because once you experience that true love of Jesus Christ, it's a spiritual encounter that nothing else can touch it. Something can try to mimic it, but once you truly experience it, and be careful with the whole, I'm going to cut this off. Be careful with the whole spirituality thing, because I think the first person that talked, you can tap into something, because if we go back and we think about Saul sought the Lord. He had experiences with the Old Testament Saul, experiences with the Lord. But when he went to that witch of Endor, he tapped into something he shouldn't have tapped into, and was completely just given over to a reprobate mind, was completely cut off from God. So you have to be real careful about this spiritual stuff, because these little guys can mimic themselves as something real, and it can get you so far gone and so far over to a reprobate mind. A lot of people who are spiritual have reprobate minds, because the lady on Pop the Balloon in the Green yesterday had a whole cross on her neck, but she was like, I'm not a Christian, I'm spiritual. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That cross signifies what Jesus did for us, but you're not a Christian, but you're wearing something that identifies reprobate mind. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Universal Man said, I think it's missing the point to call the women's perspective confused. Many Christian churches are loud. They sing a lot and don't teach the word. Even when they teach the word. Many churches preach a prosperity doctrine. Although I am Christian, I am ashamed of many Christian churches, much less for someone who is still searching. I don't think she was calling her. Hold on. There's a troll in the chat real quick.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I got it.
I already got it. And
yep, I got it too.
And just like that, we get them up out of here. You see, that's the beauty of YouTube. All it takes is one button, and they just get gone. But I don't think Monet was directly Monet wasn't directly speaking at Leo, so I want to get that. She wasn't calling her perspective confused. She was speaking in general. But I think actually I would just let people keep going. Who else wanted to speak on it? I think we have Poetical muted, but yeah, go ahead. Whoever wants to talk about this.
I'll go unless somebody else wanted to jump in real quick. But
right, sir, we'll let you finish off the point. My bad. Go ahead, Poetical.
Yeah, my bad. First of all, I feel like this is a very good topic. Monet said a lot of good things while I was listening to her talk. A lot of people said a lot of good things about this topic. This is something that I kind of wanted to discuss, because I don't prescribe myself or subscribe myself to being a Christian. I would say I'm more non-denominational. Like growing up and stuff, I've had friends that were just like, well, it was a whole lot of push towards the church. Why don't you be a Christian? Like that whole type of thing. And to an extent, I was more of the mindset, like, if you want to know about God, you go to the source, right? You go to the Bible, you seek information, things of that nature. Like, why is it so important to have this title of being a being a Christian. That's the point, but that just wasn't a part of my upbringing. Is the safest way to say it. So, me coming across other people that were Christians, a lot of my experience was them kind of, you know, talking almost from a soapbox perspective, like they're in a holier than thou perspective, and I'm like, okay, you fall to temptation the same way as everybody else is human beings can fall to temptation, but what makes you greater? But a lot of them were so quick to point out anybody that wasn't Christian flaws, and then when it was like when their flaws and when their mistakes got pointed out, it was a problem. And I'm like, well, but you point out other people's, and you have no problem putting other people on blast for doing wrong. So it's almost like a tit for tat situation, which it shouldn't be. But I mean, I'm just kind of speaking on my experience of it. So, like me hearing people talk from different perspectives right now about this conversation, like it's very interesting because I feel like this is a topic that can be talked about for a while because there's so many different depths and layers to it. But but that's just me kind of scratching the surface because I know we're kind of like at the end of the conversation for tonight. But that's just me kind of throwing in my perspective without taking too much time.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to you, Protocol.
All right.
All right. Anybody else can unmute and speak on the subject.
I guess I'll speak.
Okay, Rena.
So, I grew up. Well, I want to say grew up, but my family would tell me if somebody asks you what religion you practice, you'll say Baptist. So that's what I kind of grew up saying. But as I got older, doing my own research, I didn't understand why. I was just doing it because I was told to say that. But now I don't consider so for my journey, I said I was gonna leave Christianity because everything I see on TV is what I experienced, and then the people I was around that claimed they was Christian, they love God, this and that, but their actions was far from it. So I thought Christians was nothing but hypocrites. And they were very judgmental if you did not do things you're supposed to do as a Christian, but they turn around with just as worse. Especially pastors. Like I know a lot of bad pastors, but for Christianity, I was like, there's no point in me doing this. I thought it was made. I didn't think this wasn't what God told us to be like because I was in the mindset that God didn't write the Bible. A human being wrote the Bible. So why are we practicing or following something a human thoughts? This is not God thoughts. This is human thoughts. But as I went along my journey, and I said, I'm just going to be spiritual. I'm not going to be tied up to no religion. But as I got, I'll say less ignorant, because I was very ignorant about it. And then it was based on my experience. What people, for one, I've never been to like a church that they talk the truth, they preach the truth. So they don't preach what's exactly in the Bible. They just, most of them are just like motivational speakers, or they do like topics.
Prosperity preachers.
Yes. So that's easy to do. Anybody can do that, but it's hard for a person to actually preach the word of God. So now, fast forward, so I decided I'm not gonna consider myself spiritual. I'm just gonna consider myself Christian, non-denomination. And now, so I joined a online Bible study group, which I start next week, and then I read the Bible every day. Well, it was every day, but I'm gonna get back to read the Bible every day. But in my word,
that's good.
Yes, I'm doing the Gospels right now. I'm in Mark right now.
Okay.
So I'm about to finish that and then keep going and then just keep reading the Bible and let that guide me and apply that to my actual real life. Instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm a Christian because I read the Bible every day, or I pray every day, or I go to church every Sunday." So that's my take on it.
Okay.
Okay. Shout out to Rena.
Thank you.
All right, Shady, Leo, Nitro. Anybody else got something to say on it?
Oh yeah. So can you like the question is like how spiritual people practice? Like, can you just restate it real quick?
There's not really a question. It's more just speaking on spirit. Well, Leo, did you have a question that was like the topic you wanted answered per se?
No, she answered your question.
Yeah, she answered
No,
mine.
I
but-
was just answering your question.
Okay. I mean,
I wanted to hear other people and their perspective of your question. But I do have another comment at the end after everybody said what they said.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll just speak on how I view it. It's like people have the desire to latch on to something bigger than themselves, but once they see like what it takes to, stick to organized like structure of like Christianity, there's gonna be a natural resistance to it. So like once you have all these new age religions, like there's so much vagueness in what you can and can't do. So it's like, they have the freedom to like move around and explore. And then it's like the Bible itself, like I know the Bible is true. So the Bible speaks on all these things, and it's like if the Bible is able to talk about how, how things are nowadays, how like you're not will happen to you, or just how the Bible is able to predict accurately, things in the modern world, like it kind of shows like the credibility behind it, and it shows the credibility of how God is real in our lives. But people that say they're spiritual, they usually have some form of church hurt because they come from, they're raised in that way. But humans, we all experienced it, so it's like they just move away from it. And to be honest, I just think it's a natural part. Well, it shouldn't be natural, but it is a natural part of our lives as humans, and that's part of what it's part of the greatness of God. He's able to draw you in at your lowest point. So when people get mixed in with all these new age religions, God is able to draw them back to the power of his word and the Bible, and then people are able to then profess to other people or the people around them that dabble in whatever, and tell them, hey, this is what you need to come back to him, but that's just how I see it.
Okay.
Shout out Shady. All right, Nitro. If
All right, Leo, you can no. We said that Nitro was closing out. Leo, go ahead and ask your questions and like whatever closing statements, and then Nitro is gonna close us out so we can get out of here.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna say that listening to everybody, I think for the most part, everybody's pretty accurate. But the one thing I just wanted to say was from reading the Bible, my understanding, right, Jesus died so that we all had a chance. So that we all could get to grow and learn and get closer to God. That means no matter, in my perspective, that means no matter what religion you say you are with or what your beliefs are, you have an opportunity to grow closer to God. And I think like Christians, although I don't 100% agree with Christians, I think that they have it, maybe I would say 85% correct. And I think that because, like, I think it was Monet said, or maybe it was Bird Lady, Christian get the most pushback. It's the reason why. There's a lot of truth in what Christians are preaching, but at the same time, I don't think that just because somebody's following something a Christian is saying or something a Buddhist is saying or whatever, that's dangerous. I think what makes it dangerous, like I said before, is that person's mindset and that person's intention. If they're not intentionally trying to grow closer to spirit, if they just kind of off in the wind drifting, kind of going with the flow, that's what makes it dangerous. You gotta be a person that's not indecisive and firm in your spirit on what you're here in this earth to achieve. So
okay. I want to ask you this, or I'll pose this question for you, and it's food for thought, right? It's just food for thought, but it's more of like something to reflect on, right? Do you know why fallen angels were so effective in convincing man on fallen angels were so it's so easy for a fallen angel to convince man to do things, to fall away from God, to fall into sin? Do you know why it was like so easy for them to do it?
No.
So the thing about angels is angels had the privilege, and the fallen angels had the privilege of seeing God, experiencing God, and knowing God personally. That's why the betrayal of Lucifer and the fallen angels is so significant, is because these beings knew God personally, saw God's grace personally, experienced God's grace daily, and knew his perfection. But because one angel did not like a creation, he did not like man's creation. He didn't like the creation of man, and he didn't like that God was asking these beings who know God personally to protect, watch over, and serve these things he just created. They actively chose to abandon perfection. And when they came down to earth, the beings that caused them to lose that permanent spot or that residential place next to God, now you're on the same planet as them. God didn't take their power. He didn't take what they could do. That's why they can still access the spiritual realm. They lost their place. It's like you being a high official judge in a court, and now you lost your status as a judge. You still have all the things that you gained as a judge, but you lost your status, right? And they hate man. So the reason why they were able to corrupt man so easily is because the key of deception is, and any person could teach you, the key to manipulation, the key to deception, the key to convincing people to do anything is you tell them a lot of truth and then mix in a lie. Because they're so comfortable with the truth, you tell them, oh, if you hit that rock, water will come out. And they hit the rock, water comes out. Oh, if you dig up that soil over there, there's fruit under that soil. They dig it up, there's fruit under there, right? If you keep telling them little truths, and then you go, oh yeah, did you know that I created you? Well, they saw you tell the truth here. They saw you tell the truth here. They saw you tell the truth there. You've been telling the truth the whole time, that they won't even stop to think that you're telling a lie because you're so comfortable telling the truth, right? Prime example, children with their parents. Up until a certain age, as children, we believe that our parents are perfect for the most part. We believe that our parents can't make mistakes. Our parents are always right. Our parents can never be wrong. But then as we get older and as we become more adults, we start realizing that it's the blinders, right? But in that period of adolescence, our parents are perfect. So the thing is, when you know the tactics of how the devil works, and you understand how the devil, his objective is not to have you serve him, because at the end of the day, his objective is to kill you. His objective is to destroy you. So that's why when you look at all these other religions, notice a lot of people say this, there's a little bit of truth in every religion, which is true. One thing that every religion says is there is a God, right? That's the truth. But that's also where the deception starts to play. Because if I tell you that there's a God and I tell you, if I tell you something like, oh yeah, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Okay, every religion says that. In the beginning there was a great flood. Okay, every religion says that. Be a good person. Every religion says that. Don't sleep around. Every religion says that. You see how I'm telling you truth no matter what, but then I tell you my God's name is Greg Medulla. Well, you just heard me tell all these truths now. So what's gonna make you question Greg Medulla? Because then I can say,
well,
go ahead.
Just comment on what you just said. If I could just comment real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the key point that you said was those angels that fell, they had a relationship with God. And that's what the point I was making about when Jesus died on the cross, we all have the ability to have that relationship with God. So that's where I'm saying with the intention where your mindset is. If your mindset is to grow closer in spirit with truth, with the truth being God, then that's what's going to happen. But if you're going to be indecisive or sway or whatever, if you're going to allow yourself to just, how do I say this? I think that the way that I can sum this up, simply put, is that the important part is to focus on building that relationship with the Lord, no matter where you are in your spirituality or where you are in your religion. You just have to be focused on having that personal relationship. And the more you get closer in that personal relationship, I mean, you can hear 10 truths and you can hear 10 truths and a lie, and you'll know where the lie is as long as you have that relationship. Now, when you have that relationship and you intentionally reject it, that's a different story. That's what you were talking about.
Right. And I think that, yeah, okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Like J-Dot said, it's called discernment. But yeah. Nitro, because I know you've been waiting. Nitro, go ahead and wrap this up, man.
How y'all doing?
Doing great.
I think I caught a cold.
Unfortunate.
And, right? Anyways, to just, I guess, my perspective on this particular topic, when I say I'm spiritual, I say that part of it very lightly because I'm not diving into a whole bunch of different religions and people do Ouija boards or whatever you call them and tarot cards. I don't subscribe to all of that, right? The reason why I don't call myself a Christian directly, but I will say I am trying to be Christ-like, is I've experienced deep church or people that claim to be Christian, right, and have hurt me on that spiritual level. There have been times I've gotten up so angry and I don't even know why I was angry, right? There are people that have come into my home talking about they're here to pray and they're not praying with good intentions, right? So there's a lot of stuff in my life I'm trying to unlearn. So when I say spiritual, probably I'm talking about my own spirit, right? I'm not talking about connecting with all these other different types of spirits. I'm trying to discern and avoid certain negative ones. I'm trying to listen to what's actually being said, read between the lines, listen to what's not being said, and there's a lot of stuff going on, at least from my perspective. And sometimes I sit there and I'm like, whatever is meant to be will be, but at the same time, I gotta make sure that it's not a negative impact on my viewpoint towards the Lord Jesus Christ, right? Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I have to unlearn, and there's people that have been in my life that, again, claim Christianity and have done a lot of negative things towards me and my family. And so, like, yes, I haven't been to church in a while, but you guys know me in this Discord to be like, I ask my questions. I'll hear what needs to be said because I am trying to again learn, right? I try not to speak in confusion, as well as the people around me. I don't want the people around me to speak in confusion. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're good, Nitro.
I don't want the people around me to speak in confusion. So when we're in the conversations are not always in the flock talks. It's sometimes we're up for another 3 hours. Just okay, this is what you meant. All right. Oh, this was my perspective, and it's like, oh, you guys can see it. Oh, I can see it from your perspective. Okay, now I know at least a better step to take going forward. So when I say being spiritual or Christ-like, I know exactly which way I'm trying to go. So if someone's to ask me to pick a religion, okay, I'm going to say Christianity, but it's like I'm not too glued on to it because there's so many different religions in the world. Just like politicians, it creates a lot of division when you start talking about the religion topic, right? And I'm not about the division, right? Even when you guys said in your last video, you guys subscribe to Christianity, but you guys said you're trying to be Christ-like, right? Like Jesus Christ, right? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Right? So that's the way that I'm trying to go as well. So yes, I am older than you guys, but like I said before, and I say it again, there's a lot I look up to you guys as. It's like I don't put you guys on a pedestal,
right?
But it's because I started watching the Pop the Balloon stuff, like I had said in other conversations. The Pop the Balloon stuff brought me to you guys, and then I see how you guys were conducting yourselves when you were talking about it. Yes, there was things I didn't agree with, but then I started seeing the certain point of views, and I'm like, no, this still makes sense, right? I'm trying to apply it to my life, trying to unlearn certain things, like those vices that that try to keep you away from God. So, I mean, it's a lot of hard work. Right? And because of the hurt that I've experienced, it's like you're navigating through the woods without a light other than like the little candle light that you got.
Right.
Right? Or the little, the one that hangs. Sorry, I almost swore. My bad.
You good, man. You good.
The little one, the one that you hang. Why am I?
A lantern. It's a
forgetting
lantern. A lantern.
A lantern.
Yeah, you good.
Simple. Yeah, it's like, but that one is not much light. But I'm going through the woods, no path. That's how I feel at times.
Right.
Right. Is like just trying to navigate, but I know what my destination is trying to be at. I don't know if that.
No, you made sense.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It wasn't about me making sense. I don't know if that, Wes said, finish off the flock talk. So I don't know.
Nah, I think you did fine because I understand completely what you're saying. It makes me think of the scripture where it says, "Narrow is the way to truth and light," which goes to it. So if the way to true understanding and knowledge and being truly Christ-like is a narrow path, meaning that it's a small path, it's easy to fall off of, then a lot of people, it would make sense why a lot of people are not they're not comfortable walking that path, so they choose to walk the broader, widened path because it's easier. Understanding God and seeking after God and seeking understanding and practicing being Christ-like and practicing living holy, it's not easy, and that's the whole point, because you're not going against just people's opinion. It says you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities, meaning that even in pursuit of trying to understand God, you're not in a battle against me and you having disagreement. That's not your real fight. Your real fight is the things that you don't see. The real fight is the things that your temptations, your desires, the demons, all that. That's the thing that you're really fighting. So, all I can say, because I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor, and also one thing I want people to focus on, we claim Christian, we say we're Christian, but we say Christian because it's an easier category to put. At the end of the day, the title Christian is not the important part. It doesn't matter. The title Christian is just that's what it is. It's just a title. There's no power in saying I'm a Christian, because guess what? Everybody and their mother says I'm a Christian. That it's just the title. The real power is in I'm pursuing to be Christ-like, or I'm washed in the blood of Christ, or I'm seeking after Emmanuel, Yeshua, Yahweh. That's the real thing. So that's why it's like when I hear people say Christians do this, Christians do that, it doesn't offend me, and don't be offended, because that's just a title. That's just a word.
That part, J. Dot. Religion can't get you to heaven. It's only by grace that you will be saved through faith.
Right. So
right there.
So with that, we're gonna wrap up Flock Talk. I thank you. I thank Leo for sharing the spiritual perspective with us, because at the end of the day, this was not about trying to like dogpile people for being spiritual and stuff like that. That was not the objective. It's more of iron sharpens iron. And the way that we sharpen iron is we have to try the spirit by the spirit, meaning that sometimes we have to have conversations, even if we disagree with it or agree with it or whatever. If you have the conversation, you open the doorway for self-reflection, self-improvement. And also at the end of the day, one thing we have to remember is God's thinking is not our thinking. If we tried to think how God thinks, we would die. For instance, look at children of Israel. Even when God stepped on the mountain, they couldn't even look at God. His foot was there and they were overwhelmed. Moses saw a burning bush because if he would have saw God, he would have fell upon his face dead. Right? So if we can't even look at God without dying, what makes we suddenly think that we can tap into his mind and suddenly understand it? So at the end of the day, the Bible says, my people perish from a lack of knowledge. So every day, strive to gain knowledge. Read your Bibles, read your word, have the conversations. And it's okay that there's some stuff that doesn't make sense. Ask for the spirit of discernment, ask for the Holy Spirit, and do your thing. But I'm gonna ask Alex, anything else you need to say?
No, other than I appreciate everybody that came, and I liked all the talking points. It was really good. To end off with the topic that we just had, be kind to one another. We can have opposing opinions without spewing hate or like obscure, mean rhetoric or anything like that. Like we learned a lot from each other. We learn a lot from one another when we can have these conversations respectfully. And pray for those that are struggling in their faith. Pray for those that are in their walk. Pray for yourself daily, because even though we can claim the title of being Christian and this, that, and the third, we are not exempt from sin. We can fall any day, any second, any moment. So we're not above sin. Try to get in a circle of like-minded people and, fellowship. You do not have to. People say like I don't consider myself a Christian because I don't attend church. I hear that a lot. You attending church does not make you a Christian. The relationship that you have with Christ, that you choose to have with Christ, it makes you that. But at the end of the day, like Kite said, the Christian is just a title, but the relationship and the walk that you choose to have with Christ is what matters the most. So don't ever feel like because you don't walk into a place of worship that you are not worthy of being a Christian or being a follower of Christ. Christ is everywhere around us. You could have a conversation with God in the bathroom, in the shower, walking. It doesn't matter. God is everywhere with us, and everywhere he is at, that's where we'll be with him. So I pray for everybody. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. We had some really good topics tonight. So shout out to the YouTube live. Love y'all. Thank you for the moderators in the chat that have been helping us, and shout out to Wes for coming on and helping, because like y'all know, he's a college student. He's taking time out of his day and out of his night to come and help us with the Flock Talks. And shout out to everybody else in 2G1A and everybody else that partakes in the Flock, and the server as a whole. We really appreciate y'all, for real.
Wes, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Next week, I'm gonna be more strict with that 2 minute and 30-second time limit.
Got you. All right, y'all.
Coming for y'all, bro.
He coming for y'all.
All right, y'all be easy.
Bye, peoples.
Safety.
Doses.